sunandfun.org to register and for more information.
Hey everybody! Sun and Fun has invested in providing a better Wi-Fi experience for its guests. We are pleased to offer free Wi-Fi in most of the core areas of our campus. Just sign into the network named SNF Free. That's SNF Free.
While we all have good views of the action here at Sun and Fun, if you're a professional photographer looking for the best views possible, then you will want to check out the Preferred Photo Seating Area. This area allows an unobstructed view of the air show and other event activities. It's located adjacent to the preferred seating, along the flight line and the air show announcer stand, so you know that's where the...
Calling all home-built aircraft enthusiasts. Planning to fly your masterpiece to Sun and Fun this year? Don't miss our Perseverance Award for newly completed or almost complete home builds. Join us in the home built area located just west of 523 and south of the VOR, offering prime views of showcase flybys and daily air shows. Explore different aircraft types, chat with builders, and gather tips in our home built aircraft
Church services. A non-denominational church service will be held on Sunday prior to the event at 9 a.m. in the MASA tent in the Light Plain Paradise City area. Daily devotionals will be held every day in the MASA tent in the Light Plain Paradise City area from 9 to 9:30 a.m. Catholic Mass will be held on Saturday of the event at 5 p.m. at the CFAA building, the high school. A non-denominational church service will also be held on Sunday of the event at 8:30 a.m. in the Light Plain Paradise City area.
Need a pick-me-up? Swing by Legendary Aviation Coffee Company, your official coffee sponsor of Sun and Fun. You can find them in Hangar A at booth A1 or on the flight line across from Coconut Flyers. They're giving back. 10% of all sales in Hangar A and 25% of flight line cup sales go to Sun and Fun's nonprofit. And for all of April, 10% of online sales at legendaryroasters.com supports the cause. Sip, enjoy, and make a difference, one legendary cup at a time.
A daily showcase of select warbirds, historic military aircraft, and the stories of those who flew them in harm's way. Victory's Arsenal Theater will present an aircraft each morning in front of the grandstands on the Sun and Fun Warbird ramp at 10:30 a.m. and then again at 11:30 a.m. The pilot or owner of the aircraft will share their unique personal insight and history of that warbird service. Please take a look at the mobile app for a detailed schedule.
Looking for the perfect gift or souvenir? Airport Mugs just landed with premium ceramic mugs featuring all Bravo, Charlie, and Delta airport codes in America. Airport mugs are printed with your favorite airport code on one side and runway sectional information on the other. Use discount code MUGS20 at checkout for 20% off. Visit airportmugs.com. That's airport-mugs.com today and elevate your hot or cold beverage experience.
Moms of preschoolers, it's time to blast off into reading. Story time at the Florida Air Museum is here every Tuesday morning at 10. It's an amazing interactive learning experience for kids 2 to 5.
Hi, I'm Miss Jenny Lynn. Come read, sing, and learn with me.
Come to explore the universe with rockets, planes, and space. It's free. Story time, Tuesdays, 10 a.m. at Lakeland's Florida Air Museum.
The following aviation podcast is presented as entertainment, not flight instruction. Though some participants are certified flight instructors, their comments, opinions, and discussions of flying techniques are theirs alone. None of the co-hosts or guests on this podcast are acting as your flight instructor. Please consult your own CFI for guidance on your specific flight training, aeronautical knowledge, and aircraft operation. This is the Stuck Mike Avcast, an aviation podcast about learning to fly, living to fly, and loving to fly.
Welcome to the deck here, Sun and Fun Radio. This is the Stuck Mike Avcast live at Sun and Fun 2025, and this is so exciting to be here. I'm here with my co-host, Tom Frick. We also have Bill English and James Spearman, along with a bunch of other guests that we're going to have on here. And we thank so much to Sun and Fun Radio for letting us do this as a live broadcast. And also, if you get a chance, listen to it again on the Stuck Mike Avcast, stuckmikeavcast.com. This has been a wonderful show. It's a terrific day to be out here. A big shout out to all the sponsors out there, and especially all the volunteers that are out here today. Also want a big shout out to my crew here, Matt Len, my wife, also has been helping out, Tracy Len, and also everybody else that's been behind the scenes. It's going to be a nice and exciting podcast because of the fact that we're going to focus on the volunteers and what they do here today. Speaking of which, some of the folks have been out here doing work for many years and doing all sorts of jobs. And one of those is Tom Frick. Tom Frick is one of our co-hosts, which is actually somebody who has done carpentry work, live on the radio. Also, he's done work in the engineering department and probably a bunch of other hats. The man of all hats is editing.
I think I've done just about every job in this place.
Absolutely. Tom, tell us a little bit about volunteering and why you like volunteering and why it's so important to have volunteers at Sun and Fun and also Sun and Fun Radio.
Well, the biggest thing, I think, it was just the networking value of it, but that's how it started. And you're the one that got me into this, by the way.
It's my fault.
Yeah, you were the one that introduced me to Dave Schalbetter, and, I came out and put my hand out and said, what do you need help with? And, he looked at me and says, we're putting a new deck on. I could use some guy on a post hole digger. And that's where I started, digging holes on the side of the building over here. And then one thing led to another, and it's like my media background got me into a place to where, I was familiar with some of the editing techniques and stuff like that. So as they revamped the engineering part of the radio station here, I helped with that and different pieces. And it's just one of those things. And it's the idea of giving back, right? So it's like I've always been a big proponent of paying it forward and doing something to give back to the neighborhood. So the neighborhood that I'm in now is aviation. So whenever I can, I try to give back because, there was people that helped me along. They were paying it forward and there was things that benefited me. And now I want to do the same thing. And I encourage other people to do the same.
Tom, there's about 40 employees here at Sun and Fun at ACE, Aerospace Center for Excellence, but it takes about 3,000 volunteers every year to make this move forward, and a big shout-out to those people. And if you're watching this right now live, either it's on YouTube or liveatc.net/SNF, just remember that all this equipment has been donated by sponsors, and also all this equipment was put in here and made available by those volunteers. There's some really talented folks that are here.
Absolutely. And I've done, like I said, I've done a bunch of different things, like the engineering part of it where there's like a whole bunch of stuff you got to think about. But I also painted this desk that we're sitting at right now. Yeah, we decided to put it on and put this thing together. And Dave one day shows up with a paintbrush and a can of paint and says, can you do it? I went, sure, I'll do it. So there's really no upper or bottom limit of, what you can be willing to do.
If you're listening or watching, there's a great place to go to find out if you can come and volunteer and what jobs are involved, and that's flysnf.org, flysnf.org. If it's anything, like say another language like German, like Tom knows, you can go to the international tent and help people check in there. If you know Italian like my wife, whatever it may be, you can help out. If you can think of it, there's a volunteer position for you, and some of the best ones are the Raiders.
Yes, absolutely. And God bless the Raiders, man. Those guys are awesome.
For those that don't know what the Raiders are, they keep this whole place clean, and they get the most amazing campsites. I have a friend that actually I asked him if he would come on and help out with the radio station, and he said, no way. I get the best camping site because I'm with the Raiders.
Right.
So if you take out the trash, you're going to get the best
paradox
campsite.
volunteerism.
Yeah.
You're taking out the trash, but you get the best campsite in the place. It's a great deal.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, I appreciate all you do, especially with the Stuck Mike Avcast, and real inspirational.
I appreciate it.
And just in what you've done with your career. I mean, as a matter of fact, for those that don't know, Tom is actually a professional pilot, flies a Learjet.
Lear 55.
Lear 55, and actually was right before the show. You flew down to, what was it, Palm Beach or something?
Yeah, I got stuck in Palm Beach in some weather and then came home. I got 3 hours of sleep before I got on the microphone the next morning.
Have you ever flown into here, into the Sun and Fun?
Into the Sun and Fun? No. I haven't done it yet. I haven't done this one. I haven't done Oshkosh. The two experiences that I think I'm leaving for a later date.
Yeah, I've actually flown in Oshkosh, but not on purpose. It was actually to get around some weather, and I was actually in an airliner. It just happened to be there was an air show going on. They had to stop the show because of the weather, but never actually flown in to this air show. Now,
yeah, with all the time teaching and spending, you end up with 6 in the pattern. It seems like a beehive. And then when I hear what people describe the Lake Parker approach here, sometimes it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I might try it someday.
Actually, what's kind of cool is the fact that you don't have to just fly into here at Sun and Fun. There's a lot of other airports, and James actually did that. You flew into Sun and Fun, but you parked at another airport. Tell us a little bit about that and what airplane you brought in.
Yeah, I flew a Piper Meridian in, and I flew it to Tampa. I've flown into Sun and Fun, which I think if if you're a pilot, it should be on your bucket list.
Oh, wow.
You should try to do it, to fly into Sun and Fun. The
That's
trick,
cool.
the best way to do it is if you can have a friend that has a Warbird. If you've got a T-34, that's the trick
ultimate.
because it's pretty much the Warbird arrival is just pretty much a straight in. So that's you get the experience, but it's not as crazy as trying to arrive with everyone else.
So you actually got to fly in a Warbird in here.
I did. I flew a T-34, one that I work on, manage back home. So that was fun. Actually, me and Cassidy, my wife, flew it in 2 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah. And thanks for Cassie for putting up with everything here. She's doing some photos here, and she loves aviation too, just in a different sense.
Yeah, and she loves to be. She's very supportive, and she loves to be a passenger. That's like she's got a very clear role. She loves to, handle being the passenger. And then, I'll ask her, hey, you want to learn how to fly? And she's like, no, that's your job. You fly. I'm the passenger.
Yeah, and that's good. And she helps out with the business. And for
That's
those
right.
that don't know, James actually has a maintenance business, a maintenance shop, and does some managing of aircraft too, I think.
Yeah, we're a 145 repair station, Garmin avionics dealership, and manage aircraft. We do some flight training. And then it's just somehow I figured out a way to make my entire living off of being around airplanes in GA and in the military.
Absolutely. And it's in Sevierville, Tennessee. Notice how I could say that now finally.
Good job.
And yes, thank you. And actually, another thing I want to do is a shout out. If you haven't listened to the episode, really, you have a military career, and just recently was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. Which not too many people can say that they've gotten that, and that was for something that you did during an operation. I guess we can talk about that. So hats off to you, and thanks so much for your service.
Definitely. Thank you. It means a lot. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Other people that have flown in the Warbirds are actually Bill English, who at one time came in with, I guess it was Cessna?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago
2
also.
years ago.
Brought in an 02. Didn't do the Warbird arrival, though. We did Lake Parker, held, spun over the lake. So, yeah, I've been in here a number of times. So with the 02, I know you felt it. You may be cool, but you aren't arriving at Sun and Fun in a Warbird cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
It's way better.
It really is. And, we came in this year in a vintage aircraft, technically also a Warbird, Howard DGA, which was an air ambulance in World War II. So you come in into vintage with that this year.
And you did the whole tailwheel experience here.
So that's what I focused on here, right? I'm doing a lot of that. My own 170B. I'm doing some getting into STOL competition this year and doing some instruction in tailwheels and just the tailwheel lifestyle, restoring some antique tailwheels as well. So we'll have some bits on the show this week from a lot of the tailwheel-focused forums that are here in training, aerobatics, and just in doing something a little bit more with your flying. Maybe get into that tail wheel, get into a little bit of, doesn't have to be hardcore backcountry, but something a little different, more than just that $100 hamburger,
Yeah, absolutely. As far as the tailwind experience, let's go over that. The STOL competition is right here, and I don't know if we want to announce anything else. That's actually really, really cool. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, STOL is one of the more, probably the fastest growing segment of the industry, the air shows, that's really dragging a lot of people in. So what is STOL? What's that mean for people who don't know what we're talking about? So STOL is STOL, stands for short takeoff and landing. So this came out of the Alaska and the backcountry bush pilots who had to get into little sandbars and gravel strips to get hunters in and out, things like that. And when they weren't doing that, they decided, hey, you know what? I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. And turned it into a sport, because that's what we do. So these guys take, it started with the bush planes, Super Cubs, 170s, things like that. We've now got classes of experimental aircraft that are made specifically for STOL competition. So you'll see some unbelievable, incredible flying here, way deep on the backside of the power curve, 200-foot, sometimes less, landings and takeoffs. They're did a demonstration last night, Tuesday night, began Thursday night and Friday night here over at Paradise City. There's also the Bushwheel Base Camp over towards the island, a little bit on the eastern side of the field, where you can see a lot of these spectacular airplanes, meet some of the guys that do this. Some of if you've seen them on YouTube, some of those people you've seen doing these demos on YouTube, they're there, friendliest bunch around. They'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are friendly. I think it's really cool. We have all these different spectrums, that's for sure. And you're going to be possibly competing in the near future, possibly?
We'll see what happens in Virginia in May, right? Sasquatch is ready, so we're going to go try that.
Can I ask you why you name your airplanes?
Why?
Yeah,
well,
it's just something to do.
It's something to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, boats need a name, airplanes.
Yes, they absolutely do need names. That's for sure. That's for sure. Someone who really has been bringing us aviation goodness, both here at Sun and Fun Radio, and someone who's flown a lot of different aircraft has actually just joined us, and Dave Pasco with Live ATC. And one of the things that I think is wonderful is what Dave's done for GA and in aviation in general, and so much that he's given back to this Sun and Fun Radio by streaming liveatc.net/SNF if you want to hear this right here. But tell us, Dave, welcome first of all to the show. And it's wonderful to always have you on because not only are you a great voice, but you're a great advocate for general aviation.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, Dave, tell us, for those that don't know what liveatc.net is, tell us a little bit about that and also why.
So Live ATC is basically, the simplest explanation is it's a giant ear listening to pilots talking on the radio, whether it be to towers, to other, air traffic controllers, or on a common traffic advisory frequency. And we stream that all over the world, and we record all of those conversations. That's what it is in a nutshell.
So if somebody is going to look at this for educational purposes, I think this is a great resource. And what would you recommend someone doing?
It's used very heavily by flight instructors and their students. I've worked with a lot of flight instructors, and a lot of them like to say, well, we could teach anybody, almost anybody, how to fly an airplane. But the radio communication part of it, they teach them a little bit. And then, they're kind of like on their own. There's a lot of structured educational materials out there. What we are is really the sort of where the rubber meets the road. You can listen to pretty much, a lot of airports. We don't have every single one out there. But it's fast growing. We've got like 4,000 channels. So if you can't find something that you want to listen to in 4,000 channels, you're not trying very hard. But what they do is they basically say, okay, we had this flight, we did some radio communications, go back, pull the recordings down, and go listen to yourself. And what it does is it really helps when you're not in the hot seat. It's a lot easier to sort of focus on what you did wrong, what you did right, and how to get better by listening to some of the other pilots, professional pilots, really good GA pilots on the frequency, and you learn things from that.
So the other part of this, too, is that you can use it, say, professionally or even protecting yourself from...
That's right, yeah. We have a lot of people who, had to call a phone number.
Right.
And they use the recordings sometimes in their defense. It's very difficult to get them from the FAA. But people should know that you can get those communications through a Freedom of Information Act or a FOIA request, but you've got to do it quickly. You've got to do it usually within 30 days. If you don't do that, you got to get them from Live ATC. And we go back a year, but now we're extending that to 5 years as of January 1st. We're starting to accumulate into the second year. So it's quite a bit of data. It's like a needle in a haystack, but it's very useful.
Absolutely. I've used the services. I mean, it's been great for me. I've had to go back and find out what they told me in that recording, and it saved my butt a few times. So
Good.
And also the airlines use them, and that's a big part of your business, isn't it?
Yeah, the airlines use them. I mean, we do a variety of things. It's not just, there's a lot more than what you see out on the public network and the app and on the website. We were involved in private streaming systems that are pretty large scale for big airports, and that's more like a B2B service. So that's a big part of what we do. And that's also what helps fund our ability to get equipment out there so we can get more airports on.
So if someone says, I don't hear my airport, how do I get something out there?
They just contact us. We have a contact form on the website, and we work with them one-on-one to kind of see, maybe they have some equipment sitting on a shelf or in a closet. And if they don't, we hook them up with equipment or sell them equipment if they want to own that hardware. But, we do a lot of long-term loaning of equipment.
Yeah, so what kind of commitment is it on that person's end, like power, et cetera?
It's very low power. It's less than a light bulb. It's even less power than an LED light bulb. Very tiny amount of network bandwidth, so they just need to plug into the network or connect to their Wi-Fi, put an antenna outside, and away we go. Very small footprint, like a square foot. Very small. Low power, very low impact.
A lot of going back to the whole educational part of this, and people like flying overseas and they want to learn how to do position reports, etc. You do have that ability, I'm assuming, to be able to play back some of those frequencies, HF.
We do, yeah. That's kind of a dying part of oceanic flying, because a lot of it, as you know, you do it. It's moving to satellite and CPDLC, which is a data link communication link between pilots and controllers. But we do have a number of shortwave frequencies, an increasing number of them. They run out of my house, actually.
Oh, wow.
So there's a very special antenna in the woods that picks up all that stuff. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New Hampshire. But we have all the Atlantic, Oceanic, between here and Europe, and then we have down in the waters area, the Caribbean stuff.
Yeah.
Getting the stuff on the West Coast is a lot harder because it's so much further away. But so we're looking for somebody on the West Coast to kind of fill in the Pacific area, which has a lot of stuff on its own. Very interesting stuff out there. So
if you're listening, you're on the West Coast, please, liveatc.net. Contact them, contact Dave. Maybe they can set something up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting what you said. It's kind of dying out there, but it's still used. It's and people that are into ham radio. That's still something that's important, especially during disasters. And we had a satellite outage not long ago, and all of us that were over the Atlantic at that time, everything failed. All the data failed, so we had to go back to HF, which is a real pain. But it's still something that we need to use, and I think the military still uses HF all the time, right?
No, we still we have CPDLC, but oftentimes in the tanker it's out, and so we end up having to use HF the whole way across the pond. So
it's so much fun listening to people make all those mistakes because they haven't done an HF call in so long, you know.
Yeah, I try to chair fly that, and I'll have it like written down on an e-board of exactly what to say,
Absolutely.
be ready to go for it.
Dave, you're also a general aviation pilot, pretty active, and I think in the Bonanza Society. Tell us a little bit about your GA flying.
Yeah, so I was actually part of the genesis of Live ATC way back in the beginning. I got my private certificate in 2001, and then the following year did my instrument. And when I was doing my instrument, I wanted to hear some receivers that were in Boston, and I was like 50 miles away, so I was too far away to hear the controllers. I could hear all the airplanes, and I'm trying to learn what I'm doing on the radio, so my brother let me put some receivers at his house, and that essentially became the beginning of Live ATC. But I'm in a club called the New Hampshire Flying Association, and it's just great. We have an A36, I should say had an A36. It had an incident recently.
Oops.
I wasn't the pilot, but we also have an Archer 2, and we're based out of Nashua, New Hampshire. So yeah, I've got about 1,200 hours as a GA pilot, variety of flying conditions, really mix it up. But a lot of point A to point B flying for me, because I use it actually in my work and for family. So, but it's been great. I never, for a minute thought I would ever be a pilot. I used to watch airplanes as a kid, riding my bike down to the airport and sort of looking over the fence. But it was kind of a faraway thing. It wasn't really something that I ever thought. And then in my late 30s, it just, I took the leap. And it's been great. The whole community, listening to what Tom said before, this whole community, the people that I meet through the website, through flying, hanging out at airports, I don't know what I would, it's one of those things, including my ham radio hobby and the community around that, which also is kind of part of the whole Live ATC thing, because there's a big connection there. I sometimes wonder what life would be like without that sort of second family. And it's a huge for me. It's very big, so.
What pushed you over the edge to finally get your license?
Had a girlfriend who ended up getting her private pilot certificate, and I said, and we had broken up, a few years before that. And I went on a ride when she was doing her instrument practicing, and I sat in the back, and she got her instrument, and I said, you know what, I could do this too. So it was sort of a little bit of a competitive thing, but it was something that actually opened my eyes. I don't know that I would have done it, and it wasn't to compete with her. It was just that it was the opportunity, and this goes back to taking kids for rides, which I've done a little bit with. It's just that one introduction to whatever the topic is, whether it be flying or math for budding engineers or scientists. It's one thing sometimes that sets somebody on a whole career path. And so that, to me, that's huge. That's really important, and we need a lot more of that.
So. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what's amazing about, aviation is there's people like you that come out here that are really inspiring young people, but also really involved in technology. And then there's the tailwheels, and then there's TJ. And TJ actually is somebody who flies a really slick, modern aircraft, and that's a Cirrus aircraft. Welcome, TJ, to the deck. Yeah, it's wonderful to have you on. It's so one of the things that's really neat is the fact that there's the Cirrus Pilots and Owners Association, Cirrus Owners and Pilots Association, and that organization is like what you just said. It's an incredible community. And joining us today is actually the president of that community. It's TJ Shempicard. Hey, TJ, how's it going?
Hi, Carl. Great to see you again.
It's great to see you. I think I saw your airplane yesterday.
Probably.
But it wasn't flying. It's AOG, I'm thinking.
No,
it's back?
It is back in the air, and I have the next adventure starts next week.
Awesome. So, TJ, first, before we talk about that adventure, I want to hear about that. Tell us a little bit about your background in aviation and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I started flying later in life. A lot of people start out right when they're out of school or when they're kids. Like Dave and many others, I didn't start till I was in my late 30s, and I woke up on my birthday. I'd always wanted to fly my whole life. When I was in college, I didn't have the money. Later, when I had the money, I didn't have the time. And then life and family and stuff just happens. But for me, I was 38 years old. I woke up on my birthday and I said, if I'm ever going to do this, now is the time. And so that day, I found an instructor, and turns out he was a kid compared to me. He was 19 years old, but he was a avid pilot, totally passionate. And the best part about it is he was poor, smart, and hungry, and he was willing to give me flight lessons at all kinds of crazy hours. So I took lessons from him at 5 in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, and somehow managed to finish and got my private pilot's license. And I was flying just as a regular GA pilot. I got my commercial, I got my instrument, and then over the years, I just loved it, started going to new places, and now I've flown in all 50 states and 18 countries now. And after I recently retired a couple years ago, I decided I wanted to get more into aviation. So I got my CFI and CFII recently, and now I feel like my mission in life is to help shape the future of aviation, get new pilots into the system, and help the existing pilots to be better and safer pilots.
Yeah, great for you. And by the way, congratulations on all that you have done as far as CFI II. I've been watching you, and that's terrific. Also, another neat thing is TJ and I went flying together once.
That's right.
It was actually in an Airbus, and TJ got to actually take off and land. You can see that where?
You can see it on TJ Flying Adventures. There's a YouTube channel out there that's got a video about it. Carl was gracious enough to guide me through the the JetBlue Airbus simulator at JetBlue University in Orlando, and that was an amazing experience. It astounded me how realistic that sim was. As we're taxiing, you can feel the gravel bumps as you're moving in the simulator. It's that realistic. It's impressive.
Well, and you did a great job, by the way. It helped that you were a pilot. You had some friends there. It was neat. There was a couple generations there, which I thought was awesome. We only have a minute left, but TJ, so what's next? What's the next adventure?
Really, I'm working with COPA our mission is basically to make better, safer pilots. We work closely with Cirrus. We hold a whole bunch of safety programs. That is my mission as far as COPA. And for me personally, I'm going to keep racking up new countries. In June, I'm going to be doing my first Atlantic crossing and hit probably 5 or 6 new countries along the way. And so looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'd be a little bit afraid to do that, but I know you're going to do a lot of briefing beforehand, do a lot of learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because TJ's that way. I tell you, TJ, thanks again for all you do. Where can they find you on the internet? Copa.org?
CirrusPilots.org is the COPA website, and TJ Flying Adventures on YouTube.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate your stopping by.
Thanks.
TJ is a very inspirational person. You're listening to Stuck Mike Avcast here live on Sun and Fun Radio. This is Sun and Fun 2025. We're going to go to a commercial break, but don't forget to come back. We have another half hour of the Stuck Mike Avcast on Sun and Fun Live. Let's go to a break.
Hi, this is Kevin Streeter of the Let's Talk Flying podcast. You're listening to WPEP 788 on 1510 AM Lakeland and on the web at liveatc.net/SNF.
Hello, aviation enthusiasts. Experience the excitement of show planes at Sun 'n Fun. Witness the stunning array of aircraft in our show plane parking areas, including home-built, vintage, warbird, light planes, seaplanes, and rotorcraft. Explore the home-built aircraft area for a chance to chat with owners and discover building tips. Vintage aircraft parking showcases planes from different eras, while the warbird ramp offers an up-close view of historic military aircraft. Don't miss the seabird area, where unique seaplanes gather, and Paradise City, the hub for light planes. And for rotorcraft enthusiasts, head to the rotorcraft area. Join us at Sun 'n Fun and immerse yourself in the world of aviation.
Discover the incredible mission of Samaritan's Purse at Sun 'n Fun. Tour their DC-8, the only U.S. registered DC-8 in the world, used for critical relief missions after major disasters. Explore a portion of their emergency field hospital and see the water filtration system that travels aboard this life-saving cargo plane. Don't miss this unique opportunity to learn how Samaritan's Purse brings hope and help worldwide. Tours are open daily. Come be inspired.
Every afternoon, Tuesday through Sunday, Sun 'n Fun is proud to present the Daily Air Show, brought to you by Shell and AOPA. You can join us at the flight line for exciting air show performances with highly skilled pilots flying all types of aircraft. The Daily Air Show lineup includes a variety of aircraft such as ultralight paramotors, gliders, World War II fighter planes, modern aerobatic and race planes, as well as military fighter jets. The displays of masterful flying will delight the crowd every afternoon all week long.
Imagine ordering medicine for a sick child and having it delivered to your home in just 30 minutes. That's the future of delivery with Wing Aviation, already serving Dallas and expanding soon. With over 450,000 successful deliveries worldwide, Wing is revolutionizing convenience for busy parents, shift workers, and those with mobility challenges. See their cutting-edge aircraft and technology in action all week at Sun 'n Fun. You can learn more and find out when they're coming to your area at wing.com/Florida.
CQ, radio, electronics, and avionics fans. The pilots of the Lakeland Amateur Radio Club are running a special event demonstration radio station next to the Florida Air Museum gift shop. They are ready to share with you the excitement of amateur radio, and if you're a licensed operator, you can be on the air. As you walk from the food court to the museum, you'll see the big antennas on your left. 73 from Whiskey 4 Sierra.
Kick off Sun 'n Fun 2025 with an unforgettable opening night concert on the Warbird Ramp, sponsored by Wealth MD. On April 1st, 2025 at 6:30 p.m., Tyler Hubbard and Uncle Cracker take the stage for a country music celebration under the stars. Ditch the sneakers and throw on your cowboy or cowgirl boots. Make it the perfect date night or a night out with friends. Grab some great food and bring a blanket or chairs and sing along to your favorite hits surrounded by airplanes. This is a show you don't want to miss.
Craving something sweet? Grab a treat and support the first ever U.S. high school soaring team. Rockstar Donuts is serving up delicious donuts at the Lakeland Aero Club during the 2025 Sun 'n Fun Aerospace Expo, all to help young aviators reach new heights. Every bite fuels their journey, so stop by, grab some donuts, and turn up the fun at 51. Let's make this fundraiser soar.
For the first time ever at Sun 'n Fun, we're thrilled to host the Academic Drone Soccer League World Cup on the evenings of Thursday, April 3rd and Friday, April 4th at the Aerospace Pavilion. Drone soccer inspires students to pursue aerospace and science education and career opportunities by providing a hierarchy of competitions and events that highlight student skills in engineering, aviation, teamwork, and leadership. Get ready for an action-packed showdown as teams take to the air in this high-energy competition. As the sun sets over Lakeland, get ready for an unforgettable spectacle, the Sunset Aerial Circus at Sun 'n Fun. Witness jaw-dropping performances from Stoll Demos, the Eurythmia Paramotor Team, the Shooters Parachute Team, Pivotal Aircraft, plus dazzling drone and balloon glows. Catch the magic on Tuesday, April 1st.
Are you an early riser or just want to get started early and take in all of what Sun 'n Fun has to offer? If so, you should come and check out the balloon launch and see balloons in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Daily limited demonstration flights starting at 0700 in Paradise City by commercial firms. You can have your fill of balloons daily. Also, you can see them in the night air shows, and don't forget about the big event, Balloon Race from the main flight line. All excitement begins Saturday between 0630 and 0800. For more information, you can visit the Sun 'n Fun website at www.flysnep.org.
Welcome back to the deck here at Sun 'n Fun 2025 live chats from the deck. I'm here with the Stuck Mike Avcast. My name is Carl Valeri. My co-host is here, James Spearman, and we are having so much fun here at Sun and Fun 2025. Weather's been terrific. We've talked a little bit about flying in here, technology, and also aircraft that fly with the wheels touching the ground in the back, and also some technology with brand new aircraft. Bringing it to the fore, though, James, we talked a little bit about your background as being a mechanic, etc. There's some really cool things that are going on here from the maintenance side, some innovations, but also some innovations in aircraft. So, and I know you've been wandering around. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen and what's impressed you from a maintenance perspective.
Yeah, that really my goal when I come to Sun and Fun and Oshkosh is to get intel for my customers back home. You know, just roam around and see if I can find cool stuff that they might be interested in. That's how I came across ElectroAir and built a relationship with them. How I came across Permaguard, Garmin, all of these relationships that I've now become dealers for have been from Sun and Fun and Oshkosh over the years, just building up relationships. Avidyne is another one. But this year is really special, just new aircraft that are out. They've got an M700 Fury sitting there, which is really neat, 300-knot Piper Meridian, essentially. Beechcraft has their clean sheet design, the Denali. You can get your first look at it, which is really awesome. And it's sitting out there. I've just been seeing it in Flying Magazine and different stuff online. Really cool. The Epic 1000 AX has actually been, we've all known that auto throttle and auto land is coming, but they've been making people sign disclaimers. Hey, don't tell anyone that this is. But they finally released it and unveiled it here at Sun and Fun, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Another one that it really was cool. I've been trying to work with. You see them a lot in the Cirrus community. The sunshades in the windows, jet shades, aircraft sunshades. It's really neat. I was able to connect with them this year, and it's something that can go in your window, and it's not very difficult to install, and it actually I always thought it was just like tint in the window, which like kind of keeps the sun off your face, but it actually reduces heat in the cockpit, which is cool, and I learned something new. So I'm going to take that back home and try to pitch that to my customers on the way back. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that can block the sun and keep it cooler in the cockpit, I think, is really important, especially in a Cirrus and any aircraft, really. How do they do that? I mean, as far as the technology, what's the difference between them and others?
Yeah, it's pure magic. Yeah, all magic.
Yeah, that's how they sell it. It's pure magic.
Yeah, just like all the other stuff we see out here.
How about other, there's a lot of people out here that have different appliances and also services for maintenance. Anything else you've seen out here, like any type of products that have really impressed you or stuff that's been here for a while?
Oh, the best one is go by the Garmin booth, and it's a great opportunity because people are doing upgrades at all levels of aircraft, a 152 all the way up to a Citation. So they'll be thinking about upgrading their avionics, and it's a great way to go there and just kind of touchy-feely on, see if you actually like it and see it in person, and talk to the representatives that are there. All of their regional sales directors are right there, and you can talk to them, and they'll put you in touch with the closest installer near you, and you can play and see because it's kind of have to envision what you want your aircraft to look like, and so it just gives you a lot of options. It's really cool. That's what I would recommend is, number one, go to Garmin and play with their avionics.
Another booth I think I caught you playing when someone was over there with the best tugs.
Oh, yeah. So I've always, kind of grown up watching Mike and Mark Patey's YouTube channels and just seeing what they do all along. And it's incredible. So Mark Patey owns Best Tugs, right? And I have a Bravo 8 Best Tug in my shop, and we use it literally every day. I'll give him a customer review here for free over the radio, but I really believe in the product. I don't get anything from him, but I've had mine for 5 years. It actually got an airplane crashed into it, and it kept going.
Wow.
We still have it, and we've just replaced the batteries every so often, and it works great. We use it on all levels of aircraft. We've got the little bit bigger one because we might see a Meridian or a 414 or a 421, something like that, as well as your Cirruses.
He's really jumped into the market and has come up with a very amazing, innovative, and durable product.
I think it's cool that, and this is why I love coming to Sun and Fun, is because you can actually see the people behind the product.
Yes.
And Mark is one of those guys that he's standing there shaking people's hands, taking photos, and standing behind his product. which is just kind of cool.
He had a big
Cool to
grin
me.
on his face, and he had one when he was sitting there in front of Mark. He was like, man, I can't believe I'm talking to him right here.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
watching him all the time on YouTube, etc. And that is the cool thing, is we make these connections. And I'm sure you've seen people, hey, I hear you on Stuck Mike, I hear you on your podcast, that type of thing.
Yeah, right when I met you, it was like, bam, oh man, this is Carl.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. And now it's like, oh, darn, Carl's here again. But, hey, James, where can they find you online as far as that business that you have in Sevierville one more time?
Yeah, www.spearmanaircraft.com. If you're looking for any sort of upgrades or maintenance or inspections, I'd love to help you with your aircraft, or just as a well-rounded resource if you're looking to purchase an aircraft too. So, Carl, what are you doing out here?
Oh, well, for me, first of all, this is the year I'm going to have some fun. I get to Sun and Fun, and a lot of times I don't have that whole fun factor. Although this is wonderful, but I never get to see an air show, and I never get to see airplanes, and I never get to see products and services. So I made up my mind this year, because last year I had a booth, that I'm going to get the help from other people like Matt and Tracy Lynn and from yourself and everybody else, so that I can go out and actually have that fun. And I've actually been wandering around. So first of all, we all come here with different ideas and different things that we want to accomplish. The one thing I wanted to accomplish is to find a new headset for work and also for the general aviation aircraft. And I'm to be honest with you, I'm a little more confused. It sounds strange, but there's so much here, and now I come out here thinking I'm going to buy a certain headset, and now I'm like, well, no, I think I want something else. And you know what I did? I wound up sticking with what I have for now, because now I need more time to figure that out. But more importantly, I want to connect with the people that are the listeners on, Aviation Careers Podcast and also Stuck Mike Avcast. And Aviation Careers Podcast, we do have a booth. We don't have a separate one for Stuck Mike. Of course, we come here and have people volunteer at the radio station. But we find that it's good to kind of press the flesh and talk to people. Like you just said, people come up to me and says, oh my God, I can't believe it's you that I'm talking to. And now that we've shifted to video, people actually will point me out and say, hey, there's Carl. Before, at all the other shows, they usually recognize me when they walked by me and passed me. And they say, wait a minute, I know that voice. That's Carl. And they'll come back and say hi. Now I don't have that. Now they come right up to me. And the thing that's been terrific is that I can explain to people one-on-one what we're doing. Now, with Aviation Careers Podcast, it's a free podcast. It's an informational type podcast. And it's very transparent. I talk about my life, but we also have people come on and talk about their careers and what they've done. And we give advice. And the other part that we've gone into is actually career coaching. I've been doing that for a long time. But we do just both like one-on-one coaching. And we started this thing last year, if you remember, at Sun and Fun, Matt, and he's shaking his head yes. And we actually started the group coaching, and that's a group coaching and mentorship sessions that we have usually once or twice a month. And Matt Len helps out produce that. And that is something where we can all get together and we can talk about what we're doing in our careers. So first, we have some type of inspirational topic. I try to celebrate people's wins, when they get their ratings and things like that. And then the next thing we do is we go into an industry update, because that's all I do all day is I listen to, people doing industry updates, and also I go to all the different, any kind of industry conference I'll go to. Whenever a CEO is speaking, I go out there and I either have it recorded or watch it. And then I try to give people insight into what's happening in the higher environment. So that's part of what we do there. But most importantly, we teach things. We have questions and answers during that session, during those coaching and mentorship sessions. It's really inexpensive. It's only $20 a month. And they can come and go as they please and say they get what they need out of it. And what's been really cool is the last one I did was about career fairs and how to be successful at a career fair. And here at Sun and Fun, they have this great career fair. The Innovation, Future of Flight, actually over here, Innovation Showcase, and the Career Fair tent. And if you're looking for an employer or you're looking to talk to an employer, you can actually go there and talk to the airlines. The airlines are actually all throughout here, but they're focused over there. And I have to say, some people took the advice and they actually came up to me with their resumes and their cover letters, and they had me review that. And they also were dressed properly and got a chance to talk to some of these people. Some of the success stories, I had a person come out here, talk to one of the airlines, and said, hey, can you come back for an interview? They did, and they got the job. And that is probably the biggest success story, and that's actually happens over and over and over again. The other thing, too, that's been cool is the ability to introduce my scholarships directory, which was the one thing that really got me started, the first product we sold. And that actually it's a product that's only $10 for 1 year access, and we update it every month. And we have over $120 million of scholarships in that directory. So that's the three things that we do. But honestly, the best part is seeing people and inspiring people to get into this as a career. Just reaching out, pressing the flesh, and saying hi, and saying, yeah, hey, if you want a career in aviation, you can do it. If you're finding yourself stuck, what do I need to do next? And they can actually talk to me and say, hey, this is what I think you should do next. So that's been really cool. So that's what I'm up to.
It's really great what you're doing, and everyone kind of needs a mentor getting into the aviation field. It's not really, and there's very limited opportunities, and there's people out there willing to like yourself to help them get on the right path to where they want to go, either be a mechanic or a pilot.
Right.
But there's all this community. There's so many people that'll put their arm around you and say, hey, we're offering you help to this is the path that you can get to what you want to be in aviation, and you kind of need that. You really need it.
Absolutely. We need to get people like you on and say that when someone says, hey, I can't make money as a mechanic, and say, no, you can have a living as a mechanic. Here's a guy, James Spearman, he's doing it.
Yeah, and I do want to give one plug in that aviation careers tent. One of my I used to work with him, Trevor Hawk. He runs Cirrus Aircraft's AOG service for their jets. He's actually looking for AMPIAs to help them go out and keep these jets in the air and flying. So giving him a plug and out that way.
Absolutely. And I tell you, I give a plug to everybody out there, but that's terrific. Cirrus is awesome, I tell you that. And one of the things I love about them is they're always promoting the next generation of flight. That's for sure. Also, somebody else who's doing that and who's just started another podcast is joining us today, and that's Sean Starker with the Future in Flight podcast. Hey, how's it going, Sean?
That's it. It is going incredibly well, Carl. I'm here sharing some airtime with the legendary Carl Valeri from the deck at Sun and Fun Radio. That's pretty good. Doesn't get much better than this.
Well, I am so glad. It's an honor to have you here, and I think what you're doing is terrific. And we're talking about moving the needle forward and actually inspiring the next generation of aviators. And you're starting at a level where they're just getting interested, and I think that's really cool. Tell us a little bit about that Future in Flight podcast, and why are you doing it? How did it come about?
Well, that's a great question, and part of it was inspired by your show. I'm an avid listener of the Aviation Careers podcast, and I think what you do is incredible. So aviation, obviously, we need to keep the cycle going. There is a place for everybody. We are for the budding aviation enthusiast and the aviation professional. So we have on people who are both in both worlds. We have on photographers, or we have on some social media specialists as well, and then we have on some just people who like to go to air shows, talk about how they were inspired, and really try to capture as much of that in the 14 to 24-year-old range as we can. And we do that weekly. It's been great so far. We've had such a fun time doing it.
This is actually something that was or is being sponsored by another group that does a really great job, has this amazing publication, and that's Aviation, right?
I'm so thrilled to be with Aviation.
Yeah, Aviation. Jacob Pete, who's the publisher of that, has a long history of publishing, but that magazine is outstanding. In my view, it's one of the best out there, and the reason being is it's very appealing to my senses of eye, and now he's trying to appeal to the senses of ear through this podcast. And I think that's terrific. Some of the articles they have in there are things like the Aero Club here and how people got started within that range of young people getting started. And I think it's really important to figure out how people actually get inspired as aviators. So a lot of times I have, those people that were 50 years old coming on and saying that, yeah, I went to the airlines and I was inspired by actually flying little model airplanes or in a simulator even. We're still hearing that, aren't we?
We are. It seems to be a universal theme that what worked 20, 30, 40 years ago, what 40 years ago, what makes that kid look up in the sky and have wonder is the same thing. It might have a little bit different coat of paint or what have you, but it is that same wonder. And aviation, as you know, is just full of of dreamers and doers. Jacob Peed being one of them. That guy is amazing. And when he came to me and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting a podcast, and I'm wondering if you might join us," the only answer was yes. When can we do this? So being able to reach a segment of people, of those dreamers and doers, with Jacob is really beyond belief. It's magic. It is the magic in aviation.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I forget, where can we find your podcast?
We are on all major on-demand audio platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on, let's see, I think
YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Yep. Thank you. Thanks for the assist there. Gosh, we're in so many places. We're trying to get out there and make ourselves available. We also have a website, futureinflight.com, where you can find all of our episodes archived.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, too, the Avination, where can they find that? It's Avination.
That's aviationusa.com.
Okay.
Yep,
and it's hard to miss because they advertise all over the place here. And some of the really cool articles, I don't know if you've seen them, James, but are some of these young people that have written these articles. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty impressive. Maybe this person's going to writing magazines articles for the rest of their life. It is what always is shocking is to have some 14-year-old walk up to you and incredibly accurately articulate what they're doing in aviation. And I'm sitting there learning, and what it does for me is I tell people this, it inspires me, because it makes me feel good about the next generation of people coming about in the aviation community and just in the world in general, because we sometimes hear a lot of negativity. You're not going to hear that here. You're not going to hear that in Aviation and not in Future in Flight podcast either. And just going back to that, the actual magazine itself, a lot of times you can find distributed all throughout and also online.
Oh, there's a great copy online. There's a great vivid digital copy, and then you might find the copies in your local FBO. Jacob does a great job of getting around.
Absolutely. So, Sean, tell us a little bit about you and your aviation background.
Well, gosh, I was out of aviation for quite a while. I'd gone off and just joined the world. I opened a gym. I was working out, doing my thing, and there was a change somewhere back around 2020. And it just became that having a gym was no longer the thing for me. And somehow I got here. I went to work for an aviation company. I worked there for about a year, and I went home to take care of my parents. My dad was ill, and it was really cool. He's the one that got me into aviation. For him to get to see me hang out and interview all of these people has been incredible. So I had a great span where I had no aviation in my background, but as of the last 3 years, it has been full throttle, heels to the floor, and I'm on every corner. Oshkosh, Sun and Fun. I go to a lot of air shows. I also have the wonderful opportunity to work with Kyle Fowler and Go Easy Aerobatics through my Creative Relay Media company, and working with the only full-time Canadian air show performer is phenomenal. He is one of the best guys on the circuit, just giving me so many great opportunities.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So tell us a little bit about his show and where they can find him, and is he here?
Well, he is here. He's going to be flying the night show tonight. So, and I have it on good authority, if you're watching the night show tonight, that there could be an alien spaceship coming through. So I'm just saying.
You believe in aliens?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Absolutely. And all you have to do is look up.
And you see them. Yeah, they're floating around there. Or is that Starlink? I can't remember.
Oh, well, kind of the same. But, yeah, it's going to be a great show tonight. Kyle has got more pyro than he's ever had, so it's going to be a boom.
Yeah, absolutely. Was he flying last night?
He was flying, not last night. He flew the day show yesterday.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, last night was a cool show. By the way, hats off to everybody here. Dennis Dunbar, especially for putting on this air show, and he's just done a bang-up job here. Doing that part of the air show is really difficult. Actually, the flying part of it, I know Matt Len is shaking his head. Yes, he's been part of that in other air shows, and it's just a privilege to be able to be next to him and listen to everything that's going on there. If you want to become an air show pilot, you can do it. You just got to start today and start practicing. If you're 14, you can do it. It doesn't matter. It's just talent. That's all you need, and a lot of training and a lot of gas through that carburetor. That's for sure. I don't know if you've done much aerobatics, but it's a blast. And I know you flew in a Warbird here.
In times past, a couple of years ago, I flew in a T-34. Yeah, I still do aerobatics. I really enjoy it. And then obviously going through Air Force pilot training, it's like the linchpin of training. So it's got a heavy lean towards aerobatics. In a T6 Texan 2, 1100 shaft horsepower, and that thing is awesome. The first time I hit max power and pointing 25 degrees nose up and see the altimeter go like this, it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and that actually, it's amazing too to get to talk to the people that designed it and then test flying right here.
Yeah,
at Sun and
that's
Fun,
right.
which is pretty phenomenal. But Sean, as far as flying, what's next as far as for you?
Oh gosh, I need to build up a little bit more time. I need to. It's the time versus work. Unfortunately, starting this podcast, I've gotten in so much work that flying has become almost an afterthought. Now we're going to go up tomorrow here at Sun and Fun and do some aerial photography. We're going to do some aerial work, and I'm very stoked about that.
That's cool. Like what kind of aerial photography and what kind of airplane?
We're going to take up we have a Navajo.
Okay.
We're going to take up. Kyle's going to go, and he loves getting up early at air shows. One of his favorite things to do. So we're gonna drag him out of bed, and the weather looks to be great, especially in the morning. Hopefully, we're not going to have that soup. And if it's clear, we're going up. We're going to shoot. We've got a couple of other folks that want to join us.
Yeah, that soup you're talking about, there's a little bit of fog in the morning. One of the things I love about being in Lakeland, especially this time of year, and even throughout the year, and especially in the winter, is the fact that if I have instrument students, we usually can do some actual approaches down to minimums and have to go around because you're not going to be able to see that runway. But that doesn't work well with air shows. So we're going to try to get the fans out and push all that stuff out of here so that we can have a wonderful show. And by the way, if you're listening to this right now, you can also stream it liveatc.net/SNS, also on their YouTube channel. Sun and Fun Radio actually has a YouTube channel now, and you're probably watching it right now. And Sean's on their line right now, and say hello to our folks out there that are listening. And you can watch the Night Air Show too. Right here on Sun and Fun Radio and also on their YouTube channel. It's a little delayed feed, but you get to watch everything out there. A big shout out to Dave Schalbetter for also putting this on. He's been tirelessly working on this radio station for all those years. Like we talked about, they're all volunteers. Dave doesn't get paid to do this. We all don't get paid to do this, and we're here helping our next generation of flight. Because remember that there's events that happen here all year round here on the Sun and Fun campus, and everything here is all in the umbrella of ACE, the Aerospace Center for Excellence, and that is what is the purpose of this. It is not just an air show; it's actually promoting the future of aviation through the podcast and also through direct education. They have a high school here. They have scholarships, the James C. Ray scholarships. They have a flying club out here, a high school flying club, huge high school flying club. I mean, there are so many opportunities for young people to get into aviation. Not just young people, but people like us to figure out what's that next thing in aviation we're going to do. I mean, I've flown for a little while, and I've done a few things, and there's always something else that I can find out, things that I try to imagine and things that I haven't been able to imagine, but I discovered right here on the Sun and Fun campus. Things like the seaplane rating, going out doing any type of aerobatics, finding different things that I never even thought of, like a vertical takeoff and landing vehicle that I actually got to see here at Sun and Fun. Those are the things that I think are wonderful and bring us all together as aviators. But I will say this. My favorite thing about Sun and Fun is this right here. Being able to connect with James, who actually never really got to meet in person till Sun and Fun, and also all the other people that we usually only see here during the event. This is our Sun and Fun family. Like Sean and I, actually, we do see each other now throughout the year every so often, but normally we've only seen each other during this event. Right. We have people that we will only see here at Oshkosh. But what's interesting is the fact that these people come from all over, from all walks of life. We have this common interest that binds us. And at that point, when we get together, we become one family. And that one family is that air show family. And that's what I really love about aviation and about us at Sun and Fun, and the fact that we're really moving that needle and promoting aviation, not just for young folks, but for everybody. And realizing that this is it. Sun and Fun. Aviation, this is something that fulfills a dream and a passion, and that's what life's about. You have to remember to go out there and enjoy life and have fun, and make sure that no matter what you do, every day try to do something to move forward in your life, in your career, in your flying life. Just take that one step every day, whether it's listening to these podcasts, Sun and Fun Radio, on YouTube, etc., talking to Sean, talking to James. and just enjoying the people around you. Well, guys, I really appreciate your coming here, and I appreciate you being live on the deck here at Sun and Fun. That is going to be the end of Sun and Fun Radio for Stuck Mike Avcast. We're going to go to Sean for his podcast.
You're listening to Sun and Fun Radio, WPEP 788, 1510 AM, and online at liveatc.net/SNF.
Sun and Fun welcomes our veterans and active duty military. There is so much to see and do at the Veterans Plaza near the main entrance. You can visit the Veterans Welcome Tent, military displays, war reenactors, VA and veteran services, daily presentations in the Air America tent, live entertainment Friday and Saturday at 1700 hours, and much more.
Sun and Fun wishes to thank our sponsor, Flight Simulation Association. Flight Simulation Association is committed to expanding the impact of flight simulation in real-world aviation. You can visit them at the Bueller Hangar across from the Boeing 727 during the 2025 Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo, April 1st through 6th. For even more flight sim, attend the Flight Sim Expo this June in Providence. You can visit flightsimexpo.com for information and tickets.
If you would like a truly first-class, adult-oriented experience at Sun and Fun, consider the 927 Club. Located at Airshow Center on the Warbird ramp, the air-conditioned 927 Club Chalet features an all-new menu by renowned chef Marcos Fernandez. The 927 Club features amenities such as full breakfast and hot lunch, Wednesday and Saturday evening happy hours and dinners before the night air shows, complimentary soft drinks and snacks, complimentary beer and wine from 3 to 6 p.m. daily, and exclusive airshow seating on the patio facing Airshow Center. The full menu and more information is available at flysnf.org.
Win a formation flight, meet aviation celebrities, and demo Bose aviation headsets at Sun and Fun booth number 007. Experience the difference in audio clarity and clear communication with Bose. When you purchase an A30 or ProFlight Series 2 headset, you'll receive free Quiet Comfort earbuds. Plus, get 10% off each additional headset purchased at the show. Bose. Quiet the noise, amplify the experience.
Florida families, are you overpaying for insurance? James Boley's local Geico office on South Florida Avenue is here to help. This veteran-owned small business can help you save big on auto, home, boat insurance, and more. They just helped the Lakeland families save $1,000 a year. And with exclusive discounts for veterans, military, and government employees, their rates are so great you'll shout, "Holy moly, Boley!" Call or visit James Boley's local Geico office on South Florida Avenue today, or visit boleyinsurance.com.
You are invited to be right here on the flight line Wednesday and Saturday evenings starting at 7:30 for 2 spectacular night air shows. Featured performers include some of the most beloved and some of the newest and most innovative acts. You'll see skillful, world-class, and memorable performances with breathtaking lights and pyrotechnics unlike any others. There will also be a drone light show featuring over 60 synchronized, mesmerizing drones. You won't want to miss this one-of-a-kind aerial display Wednesday and Saturday evenings.
Aviation meets art, and every aircraft is a masterpiece at D-Moore Group. Offering Waco biplanes inspired by the golden age of aviation and German-engineered Junkers light sport aircraft, D-Moore's handcrafted aircraft blend timeless elegance with modern performance. 4 models are on display at Sun and Fun. Visit booth MD8A or WacoAircraft.com to see masterpieces designed for true aviators.
Attention aviators, since 1984, Gulf Coast Avionics has been your go-to source for avionics, instruments, and pilot supplies worldwide. Proudly sponsoring Hangar D, they offer top-notch installation and repair services for both certified and experimental aircraft. Come celebrate over 40 years of unbeatable pricing and service. You can visit Gulf Coast Avionics in Hangar D, booth 30 through 33, or check them out online at gca.aero. Fly smarter, upgrade with the best, and see why pilots trust GCA.
Sun and Fun offers many services for our handicap guests. Handicap parking is available near the registration building. Please let the parking attendant know so they can wave you onto the lot. We have a golf cart that will shuttle people from the handicap parking lot to the ticketing window or the scooter rental. You can bring your own wheelchair or scooter, or we have them available for rent on a daily basis near main registration. Please visit the Handicap Services office located on the west side of the admissions building in the Main Gate Plaza, or go to flysnf.org for more information.
Getting tired of just grabbing a stale granola bar for breakfast? Want something different and more filling? You may want to try the vintage breakfast in a cup. This yummy breakfast in a cup has eggs, cheese, sausage, and grits. Coffee, water, and lemonade are also available. Breakfast in a cup is served all week from 7 to 10 a.m. at the Vintage Headquarters Building, located near the East Exhibit Gate.
It's Dr. David Goldbaba.
You know, the best protection against the harmful rays of the sun is light clothing. That's right.
And now back to the Sun and Fun Radio Deck, brought to you in part by the Green Bay Austin Straubel International Airport.
What is going on out there? Sun and Fun, coming to you live from the Sun and Fun Radio Deck here. This is the first ever live edition of the Future in Flight podcast. I can't believe it. We're here to educate and inspire the next generation of aviation enthusiasts and aviators. This is a great platform. I'm joined by my guest host, Jordan Peed. You may know her from the Tram Talk. You've seen her out there, the Aviation Tram Talk, getting all of those stories. How's it been this week?
It's been good. All the interviews, I'm like, this might be in my top 3. And then another one comes, I'm like, this might be in my top 3. So it's going really good already.
And that's the magic of Sun and Fun 51. We're turning it up here at 51. Another person who's turning it up at 51 is Kyle Fowler with Go Easy Aerobatics. And we're lucky enough to be joined by Crew Chief Ben Myberg. He's going to talk to us a little bit about the night show tonight. Ben, tell us what is coming up.
Oh, man. We got fireworks. We have lights. We have a lot of fun stuff. So I don't want to spill the beans too much, right? We want to make sure that we have a little teaser, but it's a lot of fun. We basically load the airplane full of pyro, and then we go fly at night when we can't see very well, and we just shoot a lot of fireworks and have a lot of fun.
And now this is more pyro than Kyle shot off before,
right? Yes. So this is an all-new rack system. So it's a pyro system that we've been working on, how many years now, right? And so we keep adding more pyro. And so what happens is everyone just looks at each other and goes, hey, can you carry 10% more pyro next year? And we're like, yeah, sure, why not? So we just keep building and keep making it more and more.
Absolutely. I've seen these racks, and I saw the ones before, obviously. I'm very familiar with Kyle's setup. And before was some great Roman candles. I mean, it was a great show. It was live. It was loud. It was light. But this one, it seems like the fireworks go on forever.
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot more fireworks potential to be able to be carried on the aircraft. So we streamlined the whole system. We also made it easier to load. So what happens is, in previous shows, we would load for about 6 to 8 hours of time, which means we would have 6 to 8 hours of labor of just wiring all the pyro together, basically taking them out of the packaging, putting the leads on, routing the wires, connecting them, and then essentially what would happen is we would have 8 hours of work for 8 minutes of boom, which is not really a great thing for someone that has to work on the airplane all the time, because you literally go, that's 8 hours of my work gone in 8 minutes. But now we have streamlined it, so we're down to about 2 to 4 hours. We have these new rack systems that essentially just slide the pyro systems in. The wiring is still there. You never get rid of the wiring, but it's a lot more efficient. It's a lot more aerodynamic. We can carry a lot more energy into the box. And so our downlines, our verticals, we're able to hold the verticals a little harder. And so it's just a whole new system that just allows us for more, bigger, better, it's all improved everything around.
Now, Jordan, I don't know how familiar you are with airshow pyro, but it does sound like putting fireworks on an aircraft is dangerous.
It does. I don't know if I would be up for that.
Right? Like, how does this work? Are these? Tell us about the fireworks specifically.
Yeah, so it's essentially off-the-shelf commercial fireworks. So it's not like the Roman candles, the bottle rockets that you're going to go, put in your backyard and go launch. These are stage or theatrical grade units, right? So they're a lot more stable. It's not something that if you rattle it too hard or if you get it around some moisture, it's going to, go bad. It's a little bit more. It's a production, right? So think about like a Cirque du Soleil type scenario where it's a theatrical production that's put on every night and like a Las Vegas show, right? You need stage quality. And so there's stage quality, fireworks that essentially get loaded onto the rack. So we have these racks, so we call them the pyro racks. And what happens is we have different zones that we split out. So right now we have about 10 zones. And in the cockpit, there's a selector switch. So what happens, Kyle will select zone 1, and there's a trigger, essentially just like a military jet fighter, right? There's a trigger, and you push the button on your stick, and kaboom, there goes launching the fireworks. And so it's a mix of Roman candles and gerbs, and so it essentially just kind of mixes the lights that you see coming off, mixes the fireworks you coming off. Because what happens is, if you just shoot Roman candles, they're cool, but they don't always want only the Roman candles. So we kind of mix it with some gerbs, and we kind of mix it with the smoke, things like that, to make it a kind of a nice effect. And essentially, like I said, what happens is you just select the zone, hit fire, select the zone, hit fire. It's all choreographed to the music. So Kyle and I are in communications before he goes up into the box, and then he gives me a 10 seconds. So what he does is he positions himself into the box, and he says, all right, 10 seconds. And so I'll start a 10-second countdown. All right, 5 seconds. And then he's like, all right, play music now. And I'll press the button, and it plays the music. And then what I do is I actually stream that music to him in the cockpit. So we have a radio that pushes the audio from my phone up to him in the cockpit. So he can actually hear the music while he's flying. Because when he has certain sections of his routine, he wants to fire a pyro or one of the fireworks systems at that exact moment that the sound system does that. So it has a whole theatrical effect. And then again, once the music goes, it's a matter of picking the zone, hitting fire, picking the zone, hitting fire. Near the end, so we had like the breakdown scene, and once the aircraft's broken down, it kind of comes back up. Once the aircraft is back and going, then it's simply a matter of it's a fireworks show. Just click it and fire it, click it and fire it, click it and fire it, and then you basically just keep clicking until there's no more fireworks left.
And now, speaking of that job, Ben mentioned there's somebody in there helping Kyle choreograph all of this. That is actually Ben. So I know that he's got to rush off and got to join because we have a night show tonight, Jordan. So Ben was kind enough to slide by on his way to actively run this night show. Ben, I thank you so much for being here on the Future in Flight podcast. This was absolutely incredible. What a great treat learning how the pyro works for tonight's night show, man.
Yeah,
hey,
thanks so much. Appreciate it.
We'll see you out there, Ben.
Yeah, take it easy.
Wow, Jordan, what up? So are you going to the night show? Are you ready? You ready for all this excitement?
I am, and I'm really excited to watch it, knowing what all goes into it. From talking to Kyle and talking to him, it's crazy that we're just sitting there relaxing, and all this is going on behind the scenes. So it's going to be really cool. And like he said, they didn't give everything away, so we don't know what we're going to be watching tonight.
Well, that's it. There's still some surprises. They're going to have to tune in. They're going to have to go and look up because I have it on good authority. There are some surprises coming. We haven't seen this yet.
I'm ready.
I will drop a little hint. I was watching the radar earlier tonight, and it looked like an alien spaceship maybe around. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that's about. What I do know is that we have Brooke from TL Sport Aircraft. She's joining us. She's got a really unique story. We're going to talk about her aviation adventure. She's got a phenomenal story. Absolutely great pilot. She's been to a great flight school. She's got a great story about that flight school. And so we want to welcome in Brooke from TL Sport Aircraft. Thanks for joining the Future in Flight podcast.
Hi, happy to be here.
Oh, great. It's so happy to have you. I mean, we talked the other day at the booth, and I got your story. It was absolutely phenomenal. So tell us a little bit about where you're out of, and tell us a little bit about your flying experience.
So I graduated from Charleston Southern University. They're a brand new flight school that they just started up in Charleston, South Carolina. So I graduated from there in 2023. I was one of the first classes to graduate from that program, and now I instruct for their flight school as well. So I've been involved in that for the past few years. I'm just about to end my journey there probably in the next year and start my airline career.
That's incredible. Kind of the natural progression for a lot of flight instructors is they instruct and then they go on to the airlines where they can make even more difference. And it seems like you've really seen a lot of this Charleston Southern transition. I mean, this is great. A big thing. They've opened up their flight school, and here it is. You're kind of behind the scenes on that. Tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
So it's been a very fun experience. So they acquired our flight school just this past few months. Originally, we were Carolina Sky Flight Training. Chucktown Flight Training, and then we were Craft Flight Training before that. So we've been a lot of different names, a lot of different companies. I've had the pleasure of working for all of them through various different jobs in sales, in the maintenance department, and then they hired me on as a CFI. And now I'm working for Charleston Southern, the school I graduated from. So it's great getting to work for my alma mater and work with the students and get to, change their lives on a day-to-day and that kind of thing.
It really seems like it. I mean, that's the energy that we can pick up from Brooke, is that she is like so many people in aviation, is that she knows that there's a next generation out there. Same thing as that we know here at the Future in Flight podcast. They know it. You guys know at Aviation, Jordan, and it's that we need to cultivate the next generation. So being out there and being so active with these new crop of pilots, what are you seeing, and where do you see the industry going?
I see it moving in a very interesting direction. One of my main goals as an instructor is to make my students better than me. I want them to learn from all the things that I did and take all the experiences and information that I have and be better than me. And I think that's going to be the next move of the generation, is we're going to learn a lot from them. They're going to have a lot more knowledge. They're really going to dive deep into just aeronautics and flying and airplanes and teach us a lot of things about that.
Well, that's it, Jordan, is that there's so much information available out there, right? Is that we have a generation that has information at our fingertips. And it seems to be a common theme that this younger generation, right? In fact, your generation, Jordan, is really diving deep and getting deep into the subjects. What do you think about where do you see this future of aviation with these younger kids?
Yeah, I think it's all up and positive. There's so much new technology, and like she said, I feel like people are so encouraging more than ever right now. So I think they have the support, they have the resources, and I just see it being great for all of them.
It really is. This is a new generation, and aviation is about pushing that envelope forward. I think you're right. That is a really great statement, Brooke, is that this generation could be the one to advance the ball even a little bit more forward. And it's great that we're a part of that, you as an instructor. And then moving on to the airlines. Tell us a little bit about what you hope to do next.
So I'm hoping to get hired by a regional. I have my sights set on a few, but I'm in the process of applying and doing that kind of thing. I'm just about to hit my ATP minimums. So I'm super excited. I attended the career fair here, which was a great experience. Got a lot of good information. Obviously met you guys. Got to talk to you guys a little bit. So I'm super excited to hopefully get to apply to regionals and get hired from there.
Absolutely. And we definitely wish you the best of luck. We can't wait to fly with you. We can't wait to board that aircraft when you're pilot in command. Now, speaking of pilot in command, you flew in one of these lovely TL Sport aircraft. Tell us a little bit about the TL Sport aircraft you flew in.
I did. So I flew in our TL Sirius. It was a wonderful experience. I flew it down here from Charleston. So this was my first light sport experience that I had. It was great. It was wonderful. It's the most comfortable aircraft I've ever been in. I've flown a lot of different airplanes as a flight instructor in my time with the flight school, and I think it was one of the most comfortable airplanes I've ever flown. I was vegged out in there, laying out my seat, eating my snacks, and had the pleasure of flying in here. Flew in on Saturday. Wasn't very busy, but it was a very fun experience, and I'm very happy to be here.
And you flew in with a great, you just have a great crew at TL Sport Aircraft. I absolutely love the TL Sport family. Really just a great group of people. Great aircraft, and really have enjoyed seeing everybody this week. Before we let you go, thank you so much for joining us, Brooke. I really appreciate all of your time. Now, you mentioned flights, and one of my favorite questions is, what is your favorite in-flight snack?
I think my favorite in-flight snack is probably a Rice Krispie treat. If you've never had one up at altitude, I promise you it tastes better.
That's actually true. That's my favorite too.
All right, so I'm going to have to go in on that. I'm going to have to try it. Thank you for the hot tip. Thank you for being here and joining us on the Future in Flight podcast, Brooke. It's been absolutely amazing to have you here.
Yeah, it was great talking to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Wish you all the best of luck in your career. Look forward to keeping up with you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Well, Jordan, that was that was pretty great. I mean, I'm learning something here, right? I didn't know that a Rice Krispie treat, although pretty calorically dense, is a great snack at altitude. I didn't know there was any different flavor.
See, I mean, you can learn useful information. You can use snack information, everything on this podcast.
Snack information is very useful information.
I think that might be most important.
What tastes different about the Rice Krispie at altitude? For anybody out there that's like, I'm a Rice Krispie fan, I think I'm gonna go up and try it.
Honestly, just something about the texture of it at the altitude. I don't know how to explain it. You really just have to experience it. It's a whole experience.
Okay, all right. Well, speaking of experience, we are going to experience an absolutely unique person, a one-of-one. We've got Tomcat Lizzie right here. Lizzie Havens is joining us. She is one of the ace reporters here at Sun and Fun Radio. She's also a very avid F-14 Tomcat enthusiast. So she's going to tell us about seeing, I believe, 2 new Tomcats this year, and there's even a map. Did you know there's a map of Tomcats?
I did not.
Yeah, right? Like, this is really cool. I'm learning so much here. I can't wait to learn. So welcome in, Lizzie, to the Future in Flight podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Oh, man, we are happy to have you. We've seen you out working really hard this week, trying to cover all the amazing stuff happening at Sun and Fun 51. There is so much that's turned up here at 51, of course. What has been your favorite thing you've seen so far this week, Lizzie?
Oh, so far. It's hard to say. There's a lot. Fly In is really great. I interviewed them last year. They were new, up and coming. This year, they've almost quadrupled their listings. Fly In, pilots only, pretty much short-term rental. It's awesome just seeing the business develop over the year. It's been
That's
really
great.
cool.
It is really cool to come back and see vendors who are just killing it year after year and doing so well. Like our friends here at Legendary Aviation Coffee Company. They have had amazing growth. It's been full throttle, heels to the floor, so much so that they are giving back here at this Sun and Fun. They're giving back 10% of all their sales, of course, in the hangar, all their bag sales. They're making this month, April, Sun and Fun month, where they're giving back 10% of all their bag sales online. And if that's not enough, 25% of their cup sales on the flight line. They have coffee and some phenomenal teas. I had a mango tea today that was awesome. 25% of that's going back to Sun and Fun to help fund the Aerospace Center for Excellence. And that's the things that our vendors do here, right? This is great. It's not only a show. This is funding the Aerospace Center for Excellence. This is funding the next generation. So it is awesome. We talk about the next generation. Let's step back, talk about the previous generation and some F-14s, a little Top Gun action here right now. I'm feeling pretty Top Gun. We'll give a hats off to the incredible, the amazing Val Kilmer. Rest in peace for him. Iceman, of course. Let's talk about these F-14s. Tell us about how you got into the love for the Tomcat.
So I grew up in Pensacola, had the Blue Angels, of course, and I never really got super into it until I left. You kind of don't appreciate what you have until you don't have it anymore. Moved to Jacksonville, got really into it, and just happened to stumble across in my research that the Tomcat was originally initiated as well as retired on my birthday. So I'm like, oh, that's definitely my plane. It was cool enough already, but now it's definitely my plane. So I've just kind of deep dived into it. There is a whole map. If you look up where are the Tomcats, you can find a map of all of the Tomcats. It also has where some Tomcats have laid to rest as well, but it has them on display. My goal is to ultimately see every single Tomcat that's on display, at least in the U.S. I'm not sure if there's some international. I haven't gotten that far yet. There's about 80 to 100 or so on display in the U.S. It's a lot more than I kind of thought initially. Yeah. I'm at around 25 now. Okay. I just got 2 new ones this year, like you said, Grissom up in Indiana, as well as the one in Charlotte at the Stellenberger Museum, which is phenomenal. We talked about that a little earlier this morning. Really, really great museum. The Grissom one has exceeded my expectations. Cute little outdoor museum, walk around, phenomenal. But I'm just trying to check them off. I've seen a few remote ones. I never would have imagined to go to Indiana for anything, but there's a Tomcat there, so that's where I went. Akron, Ohio is another one that is just really cute and much better than you think you're going to get in a little small town in Ohio. So there's a lot of them out there. I still have a long way to go. There's really cool ones all across Texas, Southern California, really just everywhere. So
where do you think the next one's going to be? What do you see as the upcoming Tomcat? Do you have one on your list? Like, that's the one I am going to. If I got 2 weeks off, I'm going to that one.
Charleston is the one that keeps getting away from me. We almost went in October, and then we were going to go up in February, and it just happened to snow. And the day before I was driving up there, I pulled up the website to pre-buy my ticket, and it's closed. So the one that keeps trying to get away from me, but it's coming up next.
You know, if there's one thing I know about aviation and about life, it's that everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Timing is definitely everything, and the timing is going to be right when you see it, right? That'll be the perfect time. It's the magic of aviation. Now, if folks want to follow you, if they want to follow this Tomcat journey, or they're a Tomcat fan and want to hook up and say, hey, man, I'm another Tomcat fan, how can they find you?
Absolutely. I'm on Facebook as Lizzie Haven. It's pretty easy to find. On Instagram, I'm at Tomcat Lizzie, Lizzy. So you can find me there and follow the adventure.
That is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Lizzie. We cannot wait to listen to your next interviews here on Sun and Fun Radio. We know you're going to be doing some absolutely great work here, and Jordan as well on the Tram Talk, the Aviation Tram Talks. We've got a couple of heavy-hitting interviewers here. I'm really excited. Thank you for joining us, Lizzie. Now, Jordan, we're going to have an aviation enthusiast join us next. I talk about this show being the show for aviation enthusiasts and professionals. Well, here is somebody who was reached by this very show. This kicked off his love of aviation, and he decided to come to Sun and Fun as a student volunteer. He's volunteered for the last couple of years in Sun and Fun Radio. He's edited, so all these great interviews you hear edited, many of them have been done by this young man here, and he's done some great field interviews. So I'm really happy to welcome in Dom Perez from Sun and Fun Radio. Dom, thank you for joining us so much.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. I see you out there working super hard in search of these interviews. Now, what made you decide to become a volunteer here at Sun and Fun?
So I've been coming to Sun and Fun my whole life. My grandparents and my parents introduced me to it, and I've been here every single year I've been alive, actually. And because of that, I got introduced to the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, our high school right on the Sun and Fun campus. And through the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, I've had the opportunity to volunteer at Sun and Fun, and my choice was Sun and Fun Radio, so I'm here, and I've been here 3 years now.
And I tell you what, we're really glad. We're really happy to have all the volunteers. It is the volunteers that make these shows go. And what's really important is like we talk about in the aviation industry, Jordan, there's a lot of folks on the older end, and we love them. We love the original volunteers and the originals in the aviation industry. Unfortunately, they are getting older, and to see this next crop of students, of volunteers, of young, fresh faces come in and get to learn from those folks is absolutely phenomenal. it's a part of what we do here is to inspire the next generation, and you can see that happening at these air shows.
For sure, and I love it because I have volunteers that I literally call my grandma and grandpa, so I know they're great mentors, and I'm sure you've met some that have been mentors to you, so the fact that there's that bond is so awesome.
And what do you feel like the best piece of advice you've received from an old-time volunteer has been?
Honestly, the best advice I've heard is just get out there and talk to people. There are so many unique stories at Sun and Fun, and we've got some amazing people here. And you can't ever talk to them all. You come back every year, you'll meet new people, you'll hear about new things, and you'll learn new things. So just get out there and talk to people.
And even if you talk to the same people over and over, it's been a year since we've seen them. There's likely so many things that have happened, so many developments in the vendor area. We have great vendors here at the 2025 Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo. That's one of the things is just world-class vendors and products. The innovation preview showing new things, so you can come here, you're right, and never see the whole thing. Don't tell Paradise City, but last night was the first time that I've been out to Paradise City, and I've been coming here 4 years now.
That's crazy, but it was fun, and they're going to have live music tomorrow, so I definitely recommend checking that out.
Okay, well, that's it. We're going to check out the island and Paradise City yet again for the live music. Last night it was phenomenal. It was a great feel out there. I know, Dom, you went out to Paradise City today. What did you see out there?
Yeah, I saw some really unique stuff, like Aviation Ranches out there. They've got some hot air balloon baskets they're showing. And they also do custom actual balloon parts, and it's really interesting. They have the fabrics there they'll show you. And there's, of course, the awesome Stoll stuff and all that.
Of course, the Bushwheel Base Camp is absolutely the hottest ticket out there. Shout out to Anitra Goddard, chairman of the Bushwheel Base Camp, the Stoll Queen herself. She is just she has worked so hard to put that Bushwheel Base Camp together, and judging by the crowd, I mean, I went over there and I couldn't even see her. I went for an interview, and she was just socked in behind some people. So, you know, that's the way it goes at Sun and Fun. Sometimes you're looking for somebody, and they're busy, and that's great because they're talking to new folks. Now, are you going to stick around for the night show, Dom?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm excited to see Long Easy and all the pyrotechnics and stuff. It's beautiful always. I saw the night show for the first time last year, and it was definitely a unique experience. I'd recommend everybody see at least once.
Definitely. I mean, world-class fireworks. The night show is a sensory overload. I mean, there's so much. What is your favorite part, Jordan? What do you love about the Sun and Fun night show?
Honestly, everything, because there's always something new each year, but I think it's just really cool seeing people who have never seen it. Like, I'm excited for you, honestly. We brought my cousins who have never been to an air show, and they've been asking me to describe it, and I'm like, I can't even describe it. You just have to see it. So just seeing the joy in all the kids' faces, and it's just great.
And that is what air shows are about. Smiles on faces, making memories. That is aviation. That's it. It's inspiring us to do and be better than we are. And that's a theme of Sun and Fun 51, right? Is that inspiration to push forward and to move that envelope forward, which is one of the things that we're doing at the Future in Flight podcast. It has been a real pleasure to partner with Aviation USA, absolutely the leading youth aviation magazine. And if I may for a second, Jordan, your dad, Jacob, is a game changer. Okay, Aviation is a game-changing magazine. Your dad himself is a game changer. I'm sure you know all this, but when he came and said, hey, do you want to consider partnering with Aviation and make a podcast? Yes couldn't come out of my mouth fast enough, right? We didn't have the details down, but it's been an incredible experience, mostly because I get to talk to him on a weekly basis, right? And he has so many different ideas.
Yeah, I would say it was a match made in heaven because, like you said, he's great. He's my dad, but I can still hype him up because this idea of everyone supporting everyone, you know, like when we have you pick up one of our magazines, yes, we want it to be for the youth, but we also want someone who's maybe older to be able to see their self. And I think you do great at really getting everyone's story, and you're very good at talking to people. So I think it's really great having you on the team and doing this podcast.
Well, it is a great team to be a part of, and I hope that the listeners are getting a great experience out of this. And judging by the responses to the first couple, they have been very excited about this show. Now, I don't want to tease too much, but we've got some really good stories from Jordan coming up. Tell us a little bit about the pieces that you're doing coming up on the Future in Flight podcast.
So I'm really excited, and what I will say is if you're looking for scholarships, maybe listen and tune in. And if you're into watching influencers, or if you're an influencer, listen in because I'm covering all this stuff.
And that's it's awesome having you cover the stories because we get to hear a little bit more from you. We love the Tram Talk. You do such a great job, and it's great having you get in depth and bringing these great stories to the individuals. So it's been a great partnership as well. Guys, if you're looking to find the Future in Flight podcast, you can do so on all major on-demand audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on TuneIn. We're on iHeartRadio. You can also find us at thefutureinflight.com. Jordan, tell us where we can find Aviation.
You can find us on Instagram, X, Facebook, and YouTube.
And that's it. You want to go and you want to maximize your time in the aviation community. Go there, check us out, say hello, become a part of the Future in Flight. It takes a team to move us forward. So we hope you subscribe. We hope you leave us a review. And we hope if you're here at Sun and Fun, you're going to check out the night show. That's where we're headed in just a few minutes. And Sun and Fun Radio is going to have all of that coverage coming to you right away. Dom, thank you for joining us here at Sun and Fun Radio, live on the deck with the Future in Flight podcast. Guys, for the Future in Flight podcast, my name is Sean Starker. I'll see you out there and up there.
Hello, this is Trevor Semino from Chart It All. You're listening to Sun and Fun Radio, WPEP 788 1510 AM, and online at liveatc.net/SNF.
Looking to enjoy the air show up close and personal? Want to be right where the action is? Come to the preferred seating area, which is located on the flight line, right in front of the announcer stand. You'll have access to restrooms, some shaded areas, bag storage, and complimentary water. Seating is provided, so you don't even need to bring your own chair. All-day access to the preferred seating area is just $25 per person in addition to the regular admission, and a separate ticket is required. More information and ticket purchases can be found online at flysnf.org.
Hey everybody! Sun and Fun has invested in providing a better Wi-Fi experience for its guests. We are pleased to offer free Wi-Fi in most of the core areas of our campus. Just sign into the network named SNF Free. That's SNF Free.
Are you looking for a part or an instrument to help you complete your latest project? If so, you could come down to the Parts Exchange and see if they have something that fits your need. Not building anything? That's okay. You can come out and add to your memorabilia collection or find that next office, studio, or living room aviation piece. The Parts Exchange is your place for aviation parts and pieces for whatever it is you desire to use them for. The Parts Exchange is located in Hangar E.
Get ready for high-flying action at the 2025 Academic Drone Soccer Student League World Cup. Experience the thrill as top school and college teams from around the world go head-to-head in this fast-paced, full-contact competition. It's an electrifying mix of technology, teamwork, and high-stakes strategy. This year's tournament features standout teams from across the U.S., Puerto Rico, and Turkey, all vying for the ultimate title. Join us for all the action in the Aerospace Center for Excellence Pavilion from 3 to 8 p.m. on Thursday and Friday.
After an action-packed day at Sun and Fun, unwind with live nightly entertainment at the Corn Roast stage in the campground. Savor the taste of freshly roasted corn and soak in the lively atmosphere as the sun sets. With great music, good company, and the perfect evening breeze, it's the ultimate way to wrap up your day in aviation paradise. 6 to 8 p.m. every evening. Performing Monday and Tuesday will be Mountain Brew Band, Wednesday and Thursday, Rusty Trumpet Band, and Friday and Saturday, Eli Mosley. Hey Sun and Fun fans, we have a new area called the Sandbar, which will be co-located with our light plane area in Paradise City and will house food trucks, a large shade tent, picnic tables, and benches. The best part? Sun and Fun Radio will be piped in so you won't miss a single thing from our great interviews to the daily air shows, night shows, and sunset aerial circus. Turn up the fun at 51 and get your tickets now for the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo in Lakeland, Florida, April 1st through 6th, 2025.
We've got the Whip Air Caravan, which we call the Yukon. This is a 25% shorter takeoff roll and no loss in cruise speed. So this thing is an absolute monster in takeoff and climb.
Can you hear that behind me? That's the sound of innovation, and it took center stage Monday night during the Sun and Fun Innovation Preview. Sun and Fun Radio was there to cover all of the excitement. The annual Innovation Preview showcased the cutting edge of aviation technology, with industry leaders presenting their latest developments that promise to reshape the way we fly. From digital flight instruments to revolutionary aircraft designs, this event highlighted the incredible pace of innovation in general aviation. Let's take a look at some of the most exciting announcements. The digital revolution continues to transform cockpits across general aviation. Jim Turner, general manager of Kelly Manufacturing Company, introduced their latest line of digital instruments that make upgrading from traditional steam gauges simpler than ever.
Going digital is easy with RC Allen instruments. Easy to install, power and ground basically on most of them. Fits in standard panel cutout. You don't have to add anything or take anything away from your panel. We even give you the screws and the plugs. Multi-voltage works from basically 9 to 32 volts, so you don't have to worry about the voltage of your aircraft. Reliable and solid state, FAA TSO.
Safety innovations were a major theme at this year's preview. Abid Faruqi from Silverlight Aviation introduced a groundbreaking safety system specifically for gyroplanes.
So GWS, or gyroplane warning system,
a new technology that actually warns the pilot by audio that 4 or 5 seconds before something drastic will happen, it will actually warn the pilot that you are about to make a mistake that will cause catastrophic event. So they have time to react and essentially abort the takeoff. Similarly, it will also warn them about in-flight emergencies, like if they're going to low Gs.
This predictive analysis technology could be a game changer in preventing accidents, particularly for pilots transitioning from fixed-wing to gyroplane flying. By providing critical warnings before situations become unrecoverable, Silverlight's system addresses one of the key safety challenges in this growing segment of aviation.
And now, back to the Sun and Fun Radio Deck, brought to you in part by Green Bay Austin Straubel International Airport.
And we're back live from the deck with the Future in Flight podcast, coming to you live from Sun and Fun Radio, Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo 2025. We're here with the Future in Flight podcast, talking about inspiring the next generation, because that's what we do. And we talk about inspiring the next generation, Jordan. One of those, the key pieces of Aviation's strategy is the Aviation American Dream Tour, an absolutely phenomenal tour that is reaching out and connecting with a bunch of kids in the high school arena. So tell us a little bit about the guests that we brought in from Aviation.
We brought Tom in, and Tom has actually been on the road grinding it out, doing the American Dream Tour. He was just in Louisiana and came straight from there to here, so we'd love to hear all the highlights from that.
Thank you so much, Jordan. We just came back from Lafayette, Louisiana, where one of the Aviation American Dream Tour stops was planned for months, and it was awesome. We had 30 individual organizations or companies represented, and well over 45 individuals who were leaders in the industry, everything from an ag aviation pilot to a commercial airline pilot, and many military leaders were there as well, from the Louisiana Army Air National Guard to U.S. Coast Guard and Space Force. And we had meteorologists and air traffic controllers, and just people that cared and wanted to share their mission, their journeys with young people. And there were over 200 students from the David Thibodeau STEM Academy, and they're all in an engineering program, and it just lit up their opportunities for the future. They were all asking questions and having a good time.
Oh, that is so exciting. Are these folks that had been exposed to aviation? Are these people with an aviation background, or are they coming in kind of fresh?
They're coming in fresh. We were there 2 years ago, and we were invited back, but this was a whole new crew, and they had great questions. They had great interest in different disciplines, and so it was a lot of fun.
So being out there in the field, and I know that the American Dream Tour has had several stops. I've seen the pictures. You guys are really making a difference out there. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in the overall picture of aviation education.
Sure. Well, there's so much out there. There's so many opportunities to get involved, but oftentimes it's not shared with the right audience. And the right audience is anybody that's young, and they don't have to have access yet to aviation or information yet. That's what we want to do, is get it to them every way we can, and we're just helping be a conduit or a place where they can go to share that.
Well, that's absolutely it follows with the mission of Aviation Magazine, right? There's just so much great information in there, and the mission is to get that into the right hands, get that to the right people. Because you're right, Tom, there is no shortage of information in the aviation space or any other space, but having a blind side to that, not being exposed to it, is a huge kind of a hurdle for a lot of these folks. You don't know what you don't know, and that was one of the biggest things that I didn't know. I mean, coming from aviation is a second career for me, so I didn't know how cool necessarily aviation was as a career. I always thought it was something cool. We had aircraft, we flew. I grew up flying Cherokee 6, and but that was aviation to me. It was general aviation. It was really cool. Or you could go be a pilot, a commercial pilot, airline pilot. Well, I didn't know you could become an ag pilot. I don't have ag pilots where I live. I live sort of in a city area, and that's not conducive. But that is a really exciting career, and that's one of Aviation's missions, is to reach out there and tell kids about the different segments of aviation.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, too, a lot of people just think pilot, like you said. You know, there's this or that. But there's also other stuff that's not where you're flying. There's mechanics, there's flight attendants. I mean, there's really a career for everyone who has any interest. If you can't fly for whatever reason, you can find something. And I think that's really cool about aviation.
And even now, as we're in this great digital age, creators are making money in the aviation space, both entertaining and educating. And I know you've covered a little bit about the creators. Tell us about some of the channels that you looked into.
Yeah, so one of my favorite ones is actually Baron Pilot. She's really cool. I recommend looking her up if you haven't. Last year we actually had Flying with Bruno on the tram, and that was super fun. I mean, there's so many people. There's someone for everything that you're interested in, whether it's an airline pilot or a mechanic. Like, there's really pages out there for all of these people. You just have to know where to look.
Right, Chelsea doing just a great job. Chelsea Smith out there leading the mechanics in the aviation space. Jimmy's World, Jimmy Webb, who, by the way, I don't know if you guys, if you're listening out there and you're not busy on Friday night, 5 o'clock at the Jimmy's Webb Elvis Jet, there's going to be an Elvis impersonator concert.
Okay, I really want to go to that. I'm not going to lie. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's exciting, right? So,
Tom, will you go with us?
I'm there.
Yeah, 5 o'clock. You couldn't. Wild horses couldn't keep me from that event. An Elvis impersonator at Sun and Fun. Just another one of the many concerts that they're having here at Sun and Fun. Dennis Dunbar, the head of attractions here, he said, "Hey, I've got a couple surprises." When the head of attractions and events says, "I've got surprises," you know this is going to be good, and it has been. We've had so many awesome things here. What has been your favorite that you've seen so far this week, Jordan?
I mean, really everything. Obviously, all the air shows throughout the day are cool, but I'm a really big country music fan. I grew up listening to Tyler Hubbard and FGL, so that was my highlight, but everything's been amazing.
It really is. Everything is first rate. Tom, did you catch the show yesterday?
I did. That was awesome.
Phenomenal. Another great show today and a great show tonight. How about Aviation? Is the Aviation crew going to check out the fireworks on the night show?
We've been promoting it for all week to people that are just coming here for the first time. We are telling them about it. I mean, there's nothing like Sun and Fun. You know, it's just awesome.
It really is. It's a world-class fireworks, a world-class night show. And speaking of talking to people all week, I know Aviation has been hard at work talking to people with their annual Tram Talk. Now, how's that been going, Jordan?
It's been going really good. It's really cool to find people. We schedule interviews, so if you guys are listening and you want to be interviewed, you can slide into our DMs, you can text us, you can come to our booth. There's all kinds of ways too. But if you just see us driving by, wave us down. We love to just find people and talk.
Yeah, and I saw Kyle Fowler on the tram last year. So you guys got to talk with one of the guys that is in the air show tonight last year.
Yeah, that was so cool. And if you guys haven't watched that interview, definitely go watch it. He talks about his night show, so it's really cool. And if you are going to go to the night show, maybe watch that after, have a little premiere of the video.
That's it.
See him talking about what he's doing.
Little BTS right there, and I have it on good authority. There's a guy in a funny hat that gets interviewed on that Tram Talk, and they're all phenomenal. I know Skyline Baron Pilot, Valerie herself was on, did a Tram Talk. So if you guys want to be in really good company, I think you should schedule an interview. Go tell your aviation story. I guarantee you it's good, right? Is it an aviation story? Yes. Well, it's good, right?
For sure, and I think a lot of people get intimidated by the word interview. They're like, oh, we're being recorded. It's really not that. I think something Sean does really good with interviewing people and that I've learned from him is keeping it very conversational. So when you jump on the tram, don't think about you're being interviewed and being recorded. I just want to talk to you. I want you to talk about your passion, and I want to listen.
Well, that's it. It is just a conversation, like we're having a conversation here with Tom Flavin, the business development director for Aviation. Tell us a little bit about what's in the future for the American Dream Tour. What do you guys have coming up?
We're going to West Virginia this month on the 29th, and we have big plans for Ritchie County High School. We're actually talking to people this week about participating, and people love it. They had no clue. And some of them are in their backyard, and they're saying, well, how can we help? And that's what we look for. We look for volunteers. We look for supporters in all kinds of ways. And anybody can help in any way. We have never turned anybody away.
Now,
so it's a lot of fun.
If somebody wants to help with that, if they're listening to this and they say, man, this American Dream Tour sounds like something, I'd like to go make a difference with Aviation, how can they reach out and maybe schedule something?
AviationUSA.com has all of our contact information, phone numbers and emails, and they can call anytime or email anytime, and we'll get back to them. We're looking forward to working with anybody that wants to help move the needle for more pilots, more A&P mechanics, engineers, etc.
And that's it, because there is such a big need out there in the industry. We see that the trades are really just suffering for lack of interest. And you mentioned it earlier, Jordan, that it's not just about being a pilot. There are mechanics. You can design things, maybe design mechanical parts and pieces, upgrades, things that can be sold as kits, like many of the vendors here at Sun and Fun do. It's such a wide range of people in this industry, and we need all of them, from photographers to mechanics to pilots. And that's one of the great things about Aviation partnering with the Future in Flight podcast, is it gives us a chance to get out there on another platform, an audio platform. You guys have those great videos. Well, it's nice to join up and do a little bit of audio and get to kind of talk to the people in a different format. How has it been for you, Jordan, getting in the audio space versus the video space?
I love all of it, honestly. As a broadcasting person, it's cool. And I think for audiences, everyone has their own thing. Some people aren't going to take the time to watch a video. Some people are going to be driving or they're going to be running or whatever, so they just want to listen to something quick. Well, some people, they don't want to take the time to listen, so maybe they're getting ready for bed and they want to watch something. So I think the fact that we have so many options for people, and also social media, there's something for everyone if they want to keep up with us, and I think that's something really great, especially in this digital age we're in.
And if they want to pick up a copy of the magazine, it's a phenomenal magazine. A lot of color, great stuff. Got a great digital edition. I know, phenomenal, available on the website. Now, I was cruising through an FBO. I think I was in, where was I? I was in Tennessee somewhere, just north of Nashville, and I came across a copy of Aviation. I can't believe it. So is Aviation, do you guys go out and distribute to the FBOs?
We do. We have a whole list. It goes out all over the country. We also go to a bunch of schools. So, yeah, we're everywhere.
That's such a warming feeling to go through an airport. And it's something that you see in aviation is that you go through an airport and you may see somebody's airplane that you know that lives 1,500 miles away. And you're like, oh, my goodness, so-and-so is here. That's absolutely phenomenal.
We're at 3,500 FBOs. That's what we do every quarter. We reach 3,500 FBOs. And on the front of every magazine, there's a QR code. And the people in FBOs say that many young people come in and scan the QR code and send it, to their friends and family, etc. Because so it goes more, it goes further out than the 3,500, and our distribution is way more than 3,500. But just the FBOs alone,
that's phenomenal. 3,500 FBOs. I mean, you really can take a good cross-country flight and have something to read, which is great. I picked up a copy, and hey, don't tell Lebanon, I may have swiped their copy, but it was great to read on the way to Oshkosh. So I had something to read on that little bit longer flight with a guy who is no stranger to Aviation. That's Ethan Cole. He is a contributor to Aviation, and he called and he said, "Hey, do you want to fly to Oshkosh last year?" Now I had I packed up the motorhome. I was ready to go in the motorhome to Oshkosh. So the motorhome is 35 feet. It's got all the storage that you need and then some. And then Ethan calls up. He says, "Hey, do you want to take an epic journey?" Of course I do. Well, we're going to Oshkosh. We're flying into Tectum. You got 22 pounds of gear that you can carry. Oh. Well, all right, I'm camping, too. So we did, and we made that awesome content, which we're working on to release on the Aviation channel. We can't wait to share that with the Aviation crowd, is that epic journey with the top content creator from Aviation. Tell us a little bit about working with Ethan and what that's like.
Yeah, so Ethan is my favorite person to work with, honestly. I mean, I know you know this from working with him, but he's just so easy to work with, and he's very motivated. We actually met him because he submitted an article to us, so if you're listening, you can also submit articles. We love that. You can get in contact with us. We publish every single thing that's submitted to us, but that's how we met him, and he's great at making content. He's great at editing. He has just the passion for aviation, and it really shows. So working with him is great, and everyone should check out that video because I'm really excited to see it. Any video with Ethan you just know is going to be amazing.
You picked up exactly where I was going with this, Jordan. That's phenomenal. Is that Ethan has been able to kind of contribute to the magazine, right? He submitted an article. It was a phenomenal article, and it kicked off such a great relationship with somebody who got to showcase his skills and gets to showcase his skills pretty regularly on the social channel. And that's the encouragement that I want everybody to understand, is that Aviation is open for submissions, as is the Future in Flight podcast. You have a great story? Hey, email us. Check us out. Let us know, and we'd like to see it. Aviation is there, open, ready for your story. In fact, one of the things that you guys say is, what's your story?
Yeah, and it's really cool because we'll be working air shows, especially Sun and Fun, and we say, what's your story? And seeing people's eyes light up. Sometimes people just want to tell you what their story is, and people don't ask that. So it's a really good thing that we have this outlet. And not only are you writing it, it's something cool that you can show people and put that on your resume, but you don't know, that might impact someone. Say you're older and a younger kid picks it up. Maybe they see themselves in you, and that inspires them to continue their journey. So I think that's really cool how your story can impact other people.
That's it. What's your story? That's a great question for anybody out there. And if you're thinking, I'd like to tell my story, I think Aviation is just a phenomenal platform to do it. And who knows, you may indeed reach the next generation of aviation enthusiasts or aviators, just like we're doing here on the Future in Flight podcast. Here coming to you live from the deck at Sun and Fun Radio, the legendary front deck. I mean, there's been so many great interviews given here year after year by the Sun and Fun Radio crew. I'm just absolutely excited. They let us share a little bit of space. Now, Tom, what are you looking forward to most coming up for the rest of the week?
That's such a tough question because there's so many things going on. I mean, even just walking in a hangar, A, B, C, D, any of the hangars, you're meeting people that you get a chance to meet and talk with and share ideas and make things happen. It's incredible. And you go out to the flight line and you meet people. There's so many. It's overwhelming, the great opportunities here. And you can turn around and make something happen with a conversation. And so I can't say it. It's just an open-ended canvas to make something happen.
What a great answer, right? We can't pin it down because the possibilities are indeed endless. This is aviation. We're not ones to limit ourselves with the sky. They say the sky's the limit, but that's silly in aviation. It really isn't the limit. It's just the beginning. Once you hit the sky, there's a lot of room above you, and who knows what's going to happen. One of the things that you mentioned, Tom, is opportunities here. Yep, it's a great air show. It is a phenomenal aerospace expo, but the community, the opportunities, the people that you can meet just by stepping out and saying yes or hello. If you see anybody here, they're friendly. I promise. They want to say hello. They want to talk. They want to tell their story, and that's just aviation. I love that you're keeping it open-ended and staying open for the possibilities because so many things can happen here. One of the things that I say about these shows is just stay open to the magic. You're here for an air show. I promise you. Hang out, maybe make a little effort, say hi, and the magic will happen.
For sure, and I think one thing I always tell people, especially that aren't in aviation, is it's like one big family. You really can't go wrong with making connections, and so just say hi, like Sean said, and honestly, you never know where that could lead to. You could make a new best friend, you could get a mentor, you could get a piece of advice. You might have just found someone who could hire you, so always talking to people and being open.
Absolutely. And if people want to talk to AV Nation, if they want to come by, they want to say hi, they want to schedule a tram interview or conversation, rather, how can they reach AV Nation USA?
We have X, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, and then our website also has all of our information, and YouTube, obviously.
A great YouTube channel. And I want to tell you about another great channel, that is the Future in Flight podcast. We just released our last, most recent episode on Tuesday. It features the amazing filmmaker Kyle Newsom. If you're not familiar with him, listen to the show. You have to get to know him. He has made a Blue Angels film that is absolutely phenomenal. It's among many of the films you can see on his channel, Airplanes and Aviators. Talk about great creators. And we're just so happy that Kyle would have joined us on the Future in Flight podcast. He's another person who is inspiring others into aviation, and he is one of the hardest workers out here. Just great. And in that episode, go listen. You might find some additional inspiration. If you want to find additional episodes of the Future in Flight podcast, you can do so on all on-demand audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on TuneIn and iHeartRadio. You can also go to thefutureinflight.com. That's our main hub. So you can find all the archive shows, all the great stuff that we've put together. You can find Jordan's great reporting. You can find some of the great AV Nation-inspired stories there, and you can also find some of the phenomenal interviews that we do with the game changers, the people who are making a difference in aviation, like our guest for this second half, Mr. Tom Flavin from Aviation USA and the American Dream Tour. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom. You looking forward to the night show?
Oh yeah,
absolutely. It's almost time. We talk about magic. I mean, we're mere minutes away. The sun is setting in the sky. We're starting to get a little bit of that evening cool, Jordan. It's feeling like night show time. Are you feeling the magic here at Sun and Fun 51?
Oh yeah, I can feel it in the air.
Yeah, it's definitely. The temperature is lowering, but we're about to turn up the fun here at 51 with the Night Show with Kyle Fowler, Go Easy Aerobatics, Redline, the hard driving Redline. I know we have Starlight Aerial Productions. Did you catch those drones last night?
I did. That was so cool. And if you guys missed it, it was happening while the concert was happening. So it's so cool. You have live music, One Direction, you turn around, and there's a drone show. And I think that's just cool. And that's also another aviation career that you might not think of.
Drones are so hot right now. And our friend from Starlight Aerial Productions, also Great Lakes Drone Company, Matt Quinn, actually helped write the book on drones. So it's amazing to know people who are out there making a difference, but also making those rules, guidelines, and regulations for the next segment, the next group of people to be successful in their job, like Matt has. And he's about to put some drones up tonight. I think the wind has settled just a little bit, so I think we're going to get a phenomenal drone show. We have sailplanes. I mean, it's everything. And then, of course, at the end, the fireworks. So if you guys are listening to Sun and Fun Radio right now, you may want to think about heading towards the flight line. I think the sun is dipping in the sky, and we're about ready. We're I think just a few minutes from the opening act. I think I see the crowd gathering. A lot of folks are heading that way, and that's a big thing here on Wednesday night. Is we get that nice push, we get the crowd. I see them walking that way, so I think it's going to be just about time. What are you looking forward most to seeing tonight?
Honestly, just everything, because you never know. It's different each time, right? And we've got some teasers, so I'm excited to see what's new. But what are you most excited for?
Well, I'm excited because Dennis Dunbar said, hey, watch this. And when the head of attractions says, hey, watch this, it's going to be awesome. I know he's got some great stuff planned. All we have to do is to look up to be a participant. So I want to participate in this great success and see what Mr. Dennis Dunbar has next.
For sure, and the night air show last year was great, so I can't even imagine how you'd try to top that. I know they will, but it was amazing last year.
They are. I've had the opportunity to go and check in throughout the year. I get to come up to the Sun and Fun campus here regularly, and every time I come, they're going crazy in there. And that's their theme, is we're going to try to top it. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they are. We're going to see in just a few minutes. Now, if you guys are about ready for a night show, it's just about that time. I think the Future in Flight podcast is wrapping up here just a second. We want to thank all of our guests that have joined us today. We've had some phenomenal guests from the crew chief of Kyle Fowler with Go Easy Aerobatics explaining the phenomenal behind the scenes about how an air show works at night with the pyrotechnics. We had Tomcat Lizzie come on. Longtime air show attendee, Sun and Fun attendee, Dom Perez from Sun and Fun Radio. And we had Brooke from TL Sport come and tell us her great story about getting into aviation. I think we've done pretty well for our first show.
And the fact that it's live is even better, right? Like, we really did that right now.
I can't believe that we just had our first Future in Flight podcast live show. Now, if you guys are listening and you want to get in touch with the Future in Flight podcast, do it. Drop Aviation a message and say, hey, remember that guy that was on, Sean? He did that Future in Flight podcast? Tell him hi. And I'll get the message and I'll say hi right back to you, because that's what it's about. It's about aviation community.
For sure. I think it's something to definitely look into, and thank you again that you're doing this. You are a great host. So
well, it's only because I'm joined by some really great people, like Mr. Tom Flavin from Aviation USA and the wonderful American Dream Tour that he told us about. Guys, if you're in anywhere, if you're checking out Aviation's page and they're coming to a city near you, I highly recommend checking them out. Tom, Jacob, you guys do an absolutely phenomenal job inspiring the next generation, getting out on the ground and doing that. So thanks for being here, Tom.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Jordan, we're just about 2 minutes away. What do you want to say to the crowd? What do you think? Let's pump them up, hype them up for what's about to happen tonight.
Yeah, guys, I think you need to get ready. If you're not ready, turn on some music, get your friends. One thing I really love about the night air show is actually that the aviation crew, we all go together. So that's our new tradition. So if this is your first one, make it a tradition maybe. I think it's great. There's a lot of traditions at Sun and Fun. Do you have any Sun and Fun traditions?
Oh, I have too many that I can count. Several I can't tell on radio, but I'm trying to avoid some of those traditions, the traditional hangover this week. But I get into just being here. This is my tradition, showing up. Like Tom said, it's a blank canvas. Every year I come in, I say my prayers beforehand. I say, you know what, I'm dedicating this show to you. Whatever happens, happens. And that's how I stay open to the magic, right? And it hasn't steered me wrong. Guys, I tell you, I owned a gym prior to this. Great job, but it is not in aviation. I took that step. I got into aviation. And look, I'm sitting here with Aviation USA. You can't find a better group of folks, and they're all here. The whole family is here. We get to go hang out. We get to go watch a night show shortly, and that is just part of it. We get to go do other events. We get to hang out. We get to do lives from the deck. Guys, take that step into aviation. Just say yes. You never know what's going to happen.
Definitely. I will say there's so much going on. I see all the people walking. I'm seeing all the golf carts. Everyone's pumped. So, I mean, I'm getting more excited by the moment. I'm starting to get a little antsy. I'm not going to lie.
I know it. We're going to have to get up out of these seats. We've got about 1 minute left until it's time to go and hit that night show. And you're right, the crowd is picking up. It's got that feel to it. Everybody's it seems like they've eaten, they've gotten their dinner. We see a lot of smiling faces walking by, and it's almost time to walk to the flight line. Guys, before you walk to the flight line, do me a favor. Go over to your favorite on-demand audio platform and hit subscribe on the Future in Flight podcast. If you listen to us, if you like us, leave us a review. It makes such a bit of difference to push the show to connect with more aviation enthusiasts like yourself. What an opportunity that we've had tonight. What a great time. It's been a great flight for the Future in Flight podcast. I think we got a lot of air. We had a great tour. It's about time to turn this thing around, bring it in for a landing, and let the real professionals get up there and do their thing for the Sun and Fun night show. I tell you what, thanks for joining us here on the Future in Flight podcast. Get out there and turn up the fun at Sun and Fun 51. This has been Sean Starker for the Future in Flight podcast. Guys, we'll see you out there and up there. Take care.
Hello, this is Piper Rose Lusky from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You're listening to Sun and Fun Radio, WPEP 788, 1510 AM, and online at liveatc.net/SNF.
Here's some more info on our Sun and Fun hands-on workshops located near the main entrance of the expo. Never used an English wheel, mallets, or beads to shape metal? If not, the Metal Shaping Workshop is the right stop for you to learn. Have you seen a wooden props carved? If not, come see what it all entails from start to finish. Ever wonder what it's like to gas weld? Come give it a try. The Sun and Fun Workshops, where you can learn all the skills needed to build your very own plane.
Calling all aircraft owners, builders, and restorers who flew their aircraft to Sun and Fun, make sure to register for aircraft judging. From Tuesday through Friday, have your aircraft